Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso and you're live at S3 and it's amper Vrydag. So today, we're going to make it count. Lots of energy in studio today and I want you to feel that with us, but also some very, very pertinent topics that you're going to hear. So maternity and paternity leave, the dynamics, the nuances. Is the treatment between mom and dad the same in this society? Is it changing? Should it change? All the opinions necessary, and how should responsibility be split equally between genders, which is such a big thing. Now, of course, how does it pertain to queer couples who have adopted or gone through the surrogacy route? There are so many dynamics to what is paternity and maternity, and we are going to explore that with you. So if you are in that situation, I suggest you lean a bit forward and actually ask a couple of questions and listen to what we have to say with our panel of experts. Plus, we do have those experts shedding some light to any parent who would like that, and of course, anything else, and answering the questions too. So we have the kids from the College of Magic here, which I cannot wait for. I feel like doing a magic trick with you. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 3. Can't be 1, can't be 3, your number's 2. Look at that. Wow, how did I do that? The College of Magic will show you later. And they've got a production called Impossible coming up very soon. So it's an event that is going to be showcasing remarkable talent of illusion, comedy, juggling, daredevil acts, and of course, all of the things that you need for entertainment. That is what happens on the tip of the weekend, so don't worry, we're going to be here to make sure you're entertained, you are informed, and you're with us till 9 a.m. on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. 2 of us today, not just me. We need someone to carry the good looks. Here's Graham.
I'll try and find them, and I'll try and find them to carry the good looks. Oh, there he is. There he is. We found him. We'll just put him on the screen. Good morning, you beauties. So good to be connecting with you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yeah, as Carl alluded to, vitally important conversations this morning. And I think when we start to add layers to this one, it becomes really interesting and so pertinent for so many people. So we're putting it to you this morning, and we're going to need you to weigh in. Maternity versus paternity leave. What should it look like in an ideal world? How does this affect same-sex partners? How does this affect those who have adopted a child when that family dynamic changes just a little bit? Does the legislation, do the support structures help you in that space? And hopefully you're going to weigh in and have your say this morning. 063-408-8863. That is the number to use if you want to talk about anything on the show today. And of course, send in some pictures and some videos and show us how you are living your life right now. But let's see how those broader themes are affecting your life right now. Getting into the news and the sports headlines. Then we'll kick this show off.
Well, let's go and start you with your first bulletin of the morning. Now, let's start nationally. Audit outcomes of municipalities paint a bleak picture of how public finances are managed. The Auditor General, the AG Tsakani Maluleke, presented the audit outcomes of municipalities to Parliament yesterday. The AG has found a reduction in the number of clean audits, with the city of Tshwane receiving an adverse finding. The AG said poor financial management and crumbling municipal infrastructure impacted service delivery negatively and caused the public harm. Now, acclaimed veteran actor Patrick Ndlovu has passed away at the age of 85. Ndlovu was one of South Africa's seasoned actors with a career spanning more than 4 decades. He featured in many productions and was especially known for his role as Principal Mtembo in the drama series Yizo Yizo. His most recent role was that of Sizwe Moloi in SABC1's drama series that was Zone 14. Details surrounding his passing are still unclear. On to international news. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said in Burundi that preparation for an intergovernmental deal on nuclear energy is in its final stage. This after talks with Burundi's Foreign Minister Albert Shingiro in Bujumbura. The two countries signed a nuclear energy roadmap deal in November last year, in which Russia agreed to assist Burundi in constructing nuclear plants. The roadmap on nuclear energy has already been signed between Russia's State Energy Corporation and its Burundian partners, Lavrov said. On to Air New Zealand, who is weighing passengers before they board international flights, believe it or not, as part of a survey to determine average passenger weight. The weight will be anonymously recorded in a database but not be visible to airline staff or other passengers. Air New Zealand said knowing average passenger weight would improve fuel efficiency in the future. Participation in the survey was voluntary, the airline added. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the airline flew more than 17 million passengers every year, with some 3,400 flights per week. And on to some light, bright news, wonderful news for all whale lovers, in fact, and those who strive to protect the giants of the Big Blue, is that the World Cetacean Alliance has named Plettenberg Bay one of 7 whale heritage sites worldwide. The fact that very few places have been granted the status demonstrates the importance of destinations such as Plettenberg Bay, where tourists can wonder at whales and dolphins in their natural habitat. 2 other global whale heritage sites are also in South Africa, including the Bluff in Durban and Angola Bay, that is in the Eastern Cape. That's it for your news for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Another update in 1 hour, but of course lots of sporting action. In fact, more recently, the Europa League final. Graham has got all those details.
Oh, and a fine performance indeed in the European platform. Let's start with that footy news first. Sevilla claimed a record-extending 7th Europa League title as they beat Roma on penalties at the raucous Puskás Arena in Budapest. So Gonzalo Montiel, who also scored the winning penalty for Argentina in the World Cup against France, you might remember, he repeated the trick for the Spanish side following a 1-1 draw with a retaken spot kick after Roger Ibanez and Gianluca Mancini had missed for Roma. And during the 90 minutes, Paulo Dybala had opened the scoring 10 minutes before half-time. There was 10 minutes after half-time, an own goal from Mancini drew the Spanish side level. Then we bring it back home to continue the battle in football. Maritzburg United took a huge leap towards staying in the top flight after their 2-0 win against Casrick Stars in the PSL promotion relegation playoffs. This, of course, playing out this week at the Harry Gwala Stadium. So a first half brace by Rowan Human ensured that Maritzburg clinched a significant advantage over Cape Town Spurs in the PSL playoffs log standings. The team of choice move ahead of Spurs, who beat Casrick 1-0 on Sunday in the mini-league due to their superior goal difference. Then Maritzburg, they'll now travel to Cape Town for their fixture against Spurs this coming Saturday. Then on to rugby news. Springbok prop Kuni Oosthuizen has signed a deal to return to Durban to play for the Sharks. So the 34-year-old had left Durbs to join English club Sale Sharks in May of 2019. He went on to make 94 appearances for the Manchester-based Sharks, including 16 this season as they reached their first premiership final in 17 years, clearly making his mark up front. Sale lost 35-25 to Saracens in that final at Twickenham. Now, finally, a bit of controversy, as there often is around Novak Djokovic in tennis. His political message, in fact, about Kosovo at the French Open was, quote, not appropriate and shouldn't happen again. This, according to France's sports minister, Amélie Oudéa-Castéra. She said that there needs to be a, again, quote, principle of neutrality for the field of play. And the Serb himself, Djokovic, wrote, Kosovo is the heart of Serbia. Stop the violence on a camera lens. And it is in reference, obviously, to the recent tension in Kosovo, which declared independence from Serbia in 2008. The world governing body, the International Tennis Federation, said that Djokovic's statement did not violate any rules because the Grand Slam rules book do not ban political statements. And I'm wondering what all the hoo-ha is about. Excuse me, but that's where we leave our sport for now. Brand new day, clean Fredag. The weather, a little bit more important. Let's get the latest and some news from Carl.
Thanks a lot, Gina. If the Djokovic story left you spinning, well, here's a story that will spin you even more. Mini tornado barreled through Bloemfontein on Tuesday, uprooting trees and damaging buildings. Videos of roofs blown off and damaged vehicles have been shared. It's reported to have touched down at approximately 4 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon. Pictures and videos have been circulating on social media showing extremely adverse weather conditions in the Free State. Storm damage was also reported from the areas of Pietersburg as well as Koffiefontein as a band of thunderstorms moved eastwards over central South Africa. Now, from that adverse weather, we go to some sunrise views. I love these. And let's start off with Gina in Mossel Bay, exploring the seaside, capturing this precious moment. And then Hansi in Vredendorp sharing this one, showing off stunning peaches glowing up in the sky. Absolutely sensational. And then Winston in Kimberley, snapping up the sun blazing up from behind the houses. Sonia in JHB, that's Joburg, enjoying blissful views of the clouds before she heads off to work. And I think that's fantastic stuff to see how you wake up in the morning. 063-408-8863. Videos welcome too. We'd love to see what your sunrise looks like from your part of South Africa. As we get into the temperatures in South Africa, starting in Polokwane, as always, 6 rising to 25 degrees Celsius. Bombela, you got 10 on the cards as a minimum. Max is going to be 26 today. Pretoria looking nice and clear, but 6 to 19, so a bit chilly. Joburg, you've got 5 degrees Celsius as a minimum up to 17. My King, let's go to you. 2 is your minimum up to 20. Klerksdorp 1 to 17. Kimberley, 3 up to 16. And then Bloemfontein, you start at -2 and you'll rise to 14. Richards Bay, you can expect 11 up to 22 today with possible thunder in your area and precipitation. Pietermaritzburg, 6 to 18, also some thunder in your area. Durban looking nice and clear today, 13 up to 22 degrees Celsius. Mthatha, you've got 4 to 18 today. Emonte, East London, good morning to you. 12 to 22, Cradock 13 to 16. Gqeberha, you've got 10 to 22. And George, 11 to 19. Some rain expected, 84% chance for you. And the mother city, Cape Town, 11 to 19. Worcester, 9 to 21. Sutherland, 4 to 14. And Uppington, 6, rising to 22 degrees Celsius. No matter what the temperature in your area, we are just happy that you're starting with us on S3. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
By that I mean, I'm guessing you're thinking a happy-faced emoji to represent the weather this morning. The heartbreaking news is that there is a new king emoji, okay? And I don't know what this says about humanity. I might need my little psychological pal. A bit of...
I'm the smiley face emoji, though, if you think about it. That's what I am.
You are, hey?
Yeah.
I'm the laughy cry, which I thought was going to...
Laughy cry?
Yeah, because I'm always laughing, but I'm always like losing my mind and a little bit anxious and crazy. But that used to be, I thought, the human condition, but it's been dethroned. There's a new king emoji. Do you want to guess what it is?
I'm going to say the throw up one, the green. I think that could be that one.
I would have thought in this crazy day and age, like the exploding head, mind blown. It's not.
What is
it's the crying face. What does
Okay,
that
well,
say?
actually, it's a testament to, I think, because a lot of the things that are happening in our world, you know, we've been through a lot. Repo rate going up, cry face, COVID, cry face. Just, you know, lack of good governance in certain countries, like our own cry face.
Cry face.
Yeah.
Can't even see the face because the lights are off. Cry face.
Cry face.
And now I'm seeing only cry faces, and now I'm crying. Cry face.
It makes sense, though, if you think about it, though.
Ah, man, it's pretty tough, man. What does this say about your life? Let us know. How does this emoji affect you? Why do you think that cry face has taken over as the king of all emojis? We'll continue around this emotional discussion and emotional path, getting into some really interesting paternity-maternity leave discussions after this. Cry face or smile for that?
It's smile face as well. Also pickled fries. We're going to try that, too. That's a smile
That's
face,
a big smile.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. We're going to get into a very meaty and I think quite an interesting discussion right now, and I'm going to ask you to really think critically about this one. Traditional gender roles that limited men to the role of provider and women to the role of nurturer are being challenged in today's society, thankfully. Now, what does this shift symbolize for you? I'd love to know. Registered counsellor Shanaz Moos and educational psychologist Dr. Sharon Aitken now join us for this one. This is a nice one because it's not terrifying to broach, because so often I feel like I'm putting you on the spot when I welcome you to this couch, because this does speak to so many people right now, but to a bigger trend. We are seeing a shift in that balance, or maybe we're just a bit more aware of it. So it's a difficult one to know where to start. Shanaz, maybe I can start with you. When you look at the gender role shift, what does that mean for you? When you try to understand why we are seeing the shift, yes, we see it manifest, but why do you think this is happening?
Yeah, the stereotypical gender roles were the mother stayed at home and the father went off to work.
Oh.
Right? Like provider, almost like hunter-gatherer, me hunt. But the thing is that the economy has changed and both parents work, or there are single-parent households, or there are same-sex couples where you can't apply the same rules anymore. So that's been the shift but workplaces haven't caught up to what's going on. So they're still thinking 1950s, which is where a lot of the struggles come for parents today.
I hate to say it, I think workplaces are still thinking 2019 right now. They're like, how are we going to get people back into the office? Is there even a workplace left? No, 100%, because this has almost exacerbated this notion of like, I'll get what I actually need to make my life work. Systems are there to support, not to panel beat us into a different shape so that we can support the system. So you would think that there would be a natural progression. Why do you think it's so hot right now in this battle to figure out the roles between men and women within the workspace, within the home space, the emotional quotient? Why do you think this has become such a diverse, big, hot topic right now?
It is interesting because when I went online and had a look at the statistics, actually, since the 1980s, I think, only 8% more men are staying at home dads. So it's not as if there's been a huge shift yet.
It's not just money that's driving this.
Yeah, there's been a huge shift in the awareness of gender roles and that each parent has their own skill set and the dad might be the one who's actually the better caretaker and the mom might have the better qualifications to go on and get the job.
She can earn more money.
Well, the women at the moment are outperforming the men on graduation with degrees, way outperforming them. And so more of them are being drawn into the business world, into the world of work. And there's plenty of men who are deciding it's really cool to stay at home and look after the kids. And they've got the skill set.
Well, this is the thing, and we're realizing, I'm realizing more and more often, it's the transferable nature of these skills that's the most interesting part of what's going on today. And generally, if you're good at anything, it's because you're good in a particular way, regardless of how that plays out, where your career is, what kind of career you've got going on. I love the fact that we're moving towards an outcomes-based parenting model on getting the best out of our parents. That means we're getting the best out of our children. What does this mean for a child when we start to rethink these gender roles? How do you think this is going to imprint moving forward for the kids who get to benefit from a shift now?
I think that it's important because childcare was always left mostly to women. So what happens is kids are raised thinking that my mom takes care of me. When we shift and we have we try to have equal responsibility, kids are seeing, I can do this, I can do that. I can cook, I can clean, not boys do this, girls do that. So the shift is also that shared responsibilities in the household are not gender specific. And the input that dads give is so vital. So if men are stepping up more and stepping into the parenting role, it's such a value add. Because you often hear they'll say, my husband is taking care of the kids. No, he's parenting. He's not taking care of anything. And if he goes out with the kids or goes shopping, high fives in the aisle, everybody's like he's a hero.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, no, and it is, I'll just say that for all the dads out there, not that we're the most disenfranchised group in the world right now, but it is hugely insulting to have someone give you a high five for parenting at the baseline. I absolutely get that. There's an opportunity then for us to do things differently. How does that conversation look when we sit down as parents starting to rethink those traditional roles and how we can best get the best out of ourselves? How does that look?
I always think, I deal a lot with parents. I mean, like for 30 years I've been dealing with parents and I've seen the ones that are doing really well and I've seen the ones that are really not doing well. And I think there's two main things for me. The parents need to know what their own strengths and weaknesses are and those in their partners so they can back each other up and where necessary, access their social network systems to support them. And then the other one is to be very aware of the developmental stages of the child. And that's where I find that even with really good parenting, then everybody seems to focus on the toddler years and they're really jacked up with educating and understanding what's happening. But the moment they get to school, grade 1, the parents stop reading.
You tap out,
and then there's not enough learning going on. So
well, of course, teachers are going to take care of the learning now for the next 12 years. Isn't that how it works? Why?
And they're not looking at the
EQ.
The EQ, the communication skills, expectations, what's normal, what's not normal. So I think those things for me are really important.
You know, the crazy thing is in my world where I get to plug into kind of these, they call it the C-level discussions, the CEOs having these talks, it's no longer about business systems or O&D and all these crazy terms and acronyms. It's about living in the moment, accessing emotions in the moment, it's all of these things that traditionally would be feminine roles within an organization are now front and center. And at home, maybe you need a bit more tough. Maybe the traditional so-called male roles are what's needed there. You need to step out your lane for just 5 minutes and take a look at yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and how you can balance each other out. We're going to continue this discussion in just a moment.
Let's do some parenting that's very, very rewarding, which is celebrating your daughters in this next competition.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere.
A daughter is a miracle that never ceases to be miraculous. Nominate a deserving daughter for a dose of care, and they could stand the chance to win a 2,000 Rand cash prize. So congratulations to today's winner. That is Mandisa Madondo. You are our lucky winner. Congratulations. And Mom Wendy actually commented this. She's turning 15 years old this month. Throughout the 14 years since I gave birth to her, my life has changed a lot. She's an intelligent young girl and popular athlete regionally. Her dream is to be a doctor because taking care of people is in her veins. Hashtag Panado SA, hashtag a dose of care. And we have Wendy and her daughter Mandisa on the line. Mandisa, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hello.
Hey, good morning. I'm loving the energy in your voice, and I think it's only appropriate because of this amazing special nomination from your mom. And I'd just like to ask you, what is your favorite thing to do with your mom, and what makes those moments so special when you guys spend time together?
Hello, everyone at the studio. My favorite thing to do with my mom is cooking and baking. What makes this moment special is to get to learn all the secrets and recipes, and it's fun.
And that's what the moms are there for. They have so many secrets, though. I don't think they tell us all of it, but they try as we go along. The more time we spend with them, the better. But Wendy, a very, very special nomination. What are some of the qualities you love the most about your incredible daughter?
Firstly, I'd like to greet everyone. Hello, guys.
Hey.
I think my daughter is a very responsible person. She is very kind and generous too.
Well, you know what? I think that she gets it from the right place, which is you. But Mandisa, what message would you like to share with your mom today? I want to create a little moment between you two. You know, you're live in Expresso. I want you to express the love you have. Go for it.
My message to my mom is that I love you so much, and I promise I'm going to make her proud
Oh, man.
by being a daughter.
That is beautiful. I love the pride. And the thing is, you don't have to live up to anything. The great thing about your mom is that she loves you the way you are right now. You don't need the big achievements or the big accolades. It's just pure unconditional love, which is so special. But thank you so much to Wendy and Mandisa. You guys are amazing, and enjoy that prize as well. They say that daughters are angels in human form. Now, Panado is giving you the chance to show your daughter some recognition with a much-deserving dose of care. And if you want to know how, here it is.
A daughter is just a little girl who grows up to be your best friend. Since daughters are such a gift of love, you can show yours how much she means to you by gifting her the chance to win a 2,000 Rand dose of care cash. Each weekday from the 22nd of May to the 2nd of June, Panado SA is giving away 2,000 Rand to a much-loved daughter. If that is a dose of care which you would love your daughter to win, enter by replying to the hashtag Panado SA and hashtag a dose of care competition post on Expresso's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages. Don't forget to include hashtag Panado SA and hashtag a dose of care. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Balancing your career aspirations with your parental responsibilities is a big topic, and that's where we jump right in. Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us as we sit down once again with registered counsellor Shanaaz Moos and educational psychologist Dr. Sharon Aitken, who have been busy, y'all. There's a lot going on in our world, and I love the fact that we are now looking at both of these worlds, the traditional male and female roles, and how that's been all messed up, and we love it. We want to see people embracing both sides. You can be an amazing parent and successful in your career, but you need a partner. You need someone in your corner to be able to find that balance. Is one at the expense of the other? Is one enhancing the other? Maybe, Shanaaz, I can put this to you, being a very difficult question personally and professionally. Do you feel that you've ever had to sacrifice your personal ambitions, your motherhood ambitions, to focus on career? Could the two work side by side?
I've had the benefit of experiencing being both working mom and stay-at-home mom. And there are a lot of complicated emotions with both. And I think that it depends a lot on your financial setup. You know, a lot of moms would want to, you know, be at home or have a career that's flexible.
Over that period,
over that
early childhood phase.
Yeah. And so for me, being at home for 10 years was soul crushing, you know. It wasn't like this wonderful experience, and there's so much guilt about saying it out loud. I didn't enjoy it. It was a lot of hard...
Terrible mother, terrible mother.
Yes, it was so much hard work and very little gratitude and appreciation and all of that, because you have little ones. So for those who want to look at it, what is it that you want out of your life at this phase of your life? So that's what you're asking. Right now, I want to be with my kids, or right now, I want to work on my career. There isn't either or. There's just knowing yourself and knowing authentically what is right for me now.
Wow. I'm so glad you put it like that, because so often this becomes the common thread through all of these kinds of conversations. We're either rooted in the fears or the judgment of the past, and that keeps us there, thinking that we're looking back over the 10 years. That doesn't exist. You're looking forward, the fear of what you're going to mess up, and then it takes you out of the moment, and you're not actually answering what's being asked of you right now, which is as much about you as it is about your kids. So how do we bring ourselves into that moment with our partner? How do we establish and deal with those sorts of guilt, those feelings? How do we process that ourselves when making this big decision?
Itself. Well, the guilt itself, I think I would go a step back and say, if you've done your prep, you will minimize the feelings of guilt. So if you've actually thought about it as a couple, when is the right time to have children? How are we going to manage it? Who's going to take on what role at which developmental stage?
For sure.
How are we going to bring people in? Then you know you've done the work ahead of time and you prepped and you're ready. It doesn't mean to say
any part of this
yeah, it doesn't mean to say you're not going to get thrown a curveball somewhere along the line. Something's going to go wrong, but at least you've done the pre-thinking and you know the age and all that kind of stuff that you want to have children at. But how do you deal with the guilt itself? I think there are so many people now who are full-time parents and full-time workers, if you know what I mean. So there's people you can access in your community. You can go online and see social media. You can find people who've made the same decisions as yourself as role models, and you can see how they've done it and what would work for you and what you need to do differently. So I think taking very proactive steps to see how else people have done things would help to minimize the guilt. But if the guilt is overriding, then counselling or therapy would be a good idea.
Because chances are it's an emotional anchor in your own past or your own life that's got nothing to do with your current current situation. A lot of this is saying we've got to check judgment at the door, because a lot of this seems to stem from how we look at ourselves, how we judge our partners, judge our own performance within the family model. There is no right or wrong way. There is no one size fits all. We get that. The right way is what works for you right now. So maybe that's where it starts, is holding up a mirror to see what you want in your life right now. We'll continue and wrap up this discussion tackling the maternity-paternity question in just a moment. All right, so we're going to get onto that in just a moment. So I want to, because I'm loaded. So I came through COVID, obviously, started out with my first week of paternity leave, and I thought I'd be back 2 weeks after that, and that became 7, 8 months. So it was a very different scenario for me, but it gave me a lot of time to think about what that role needs to be as a dad, as a mom. And I will be forever grateful that I got that. I got that time with my child, and there was a whole pain management element wrapped up into that as well, where the love was stronger than literally Schedule 6 kind of opioids. So I feel like men are missing out on an opportunity to grow themselves emotionally, maybe address all of their deeper issues. To paint a positive picture, for men to step into that role, I'm going to ask you to think about that for just a second, the positives of making that shift when it comes to those gender roles. We're going to wrap up our discussion around the shift in gender roles, looking at paternity and maternity leave specifically after this.
Oh, okay. I've never had.
So we love scrolling through social media feeds and, of course, coming across some weird and wonderful things. But actually, the awesome food trends that really catch our eye. Now, we have found a foodie recipe that left us with our eyebrows raised. Pickled fries. I know, it doesn't even seem possible, but it is. So just take a look at this.
Pickled fries. I want to know if you can make fries that taste like pickles. So a few days ago, I put some in a jar. They've turned soft and rubbery, and now it's time to taste them. First, a quick pickle using the fermented garlic and dill, an egg and neutral oil. I'm going to twice fry them, first at 160, then again at 190. And the moment I've been waiting for.
Wow, the outside is incredibly crunchy. It's tangy. With the mayo, it's very pickly. It was a good test. There's a couple of other ideas I want to try.
You know what I like about those videos? That you've got a British accent that's just really smooth when he does it. Here we go. Here it is. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Eating. Beautiful. So I feel like let's put this dish to the test.
What is this
Graham,
dish even, man?
We're doing pickled fries, brother.
Woo!
Pickled fries. And it starts off with my little pickling liquid.
Okay.
So I've got water to the boil over here. I've got vinegar over here. I'm going to toss the vinegar in over there. And when that has done its thing, I have a bay leaf. I have garlic, I have a chili, I got mustard seeds, I got peppercorns, and I got some sugar, and then all goes down in there, and it steeps nicely. And when it does its thing and steeps, that's when you get a beautiful.
And this is like
liquid.
a stock standard pickling
That's it.
liquid.
Yeah,
I love
everything.
this.
You know, like I know, like around Christmas, you could pickle the pork in there, and you know how it goes. So. That's essentially what it is, okay? You get that to the boil, everything's dissolved, then you let it cool, and then you get a pickling liquid, and you can...
Boom, and that's that.
Done and dusted. So we've actually taken some of those chips, we cut them finely.
Okay.
Took them
Proper, like
2 days, and as you
free.
can see, they even change color if you look at the comparative analysis of the two, right?
They've been mummified.
They have. So we got this. The only way to do that is if you get some of these babies over here, you toss them into this little jar, 2 days, pickling liquid goes in, let it cool, pop it into the fridge, and then they come out like that. So that goes in there. You kind of know where I'm going with this one as well. If you're accurate at actually putting your chips into the actual thing, and then this will go straight into there. You close up, and then bada bing,
Just
bada
let it work. It's magic.
sorted. But you're going to have to fry these babies.
Okay.
So I'm going to fry these babies, and you are going to focus on
The sauce.
mayonnaise. Have you ever made
dipping.
mayonnaise this way?
I haven't, and I'm quite interesting. The emulsification is what excites me the most.
I'm excited for you.
I'm
because
really excited.
When
at
I
this
made my
prospect.
first mayonnaise, it split. So it's touch and go here.
I have hope. I have high hope for us now. Okay, so where do I start?
So the easy way to start here, you've got 2 tablespoons of vinegar over there. Pop it in there as a nice little foundation. Then I'm going to say the coarser things, so like the dill that you have in there. Toss the dill in. You don't have to do all of it, but if you can, just go for it, because now that's a very, very good seafood sauce. Okay, do some lemon juice in there.
We've got a little bit of lemon juice. Lovely.
Drop it in. It's about a teaspoon of lemon juice, and then this over here. Only take a teaspoon of that, please. Otherwise, it's
going to be just too proper. Okay.
Like when I say your mind, it's in like your eyebrows might just come off. Right?
Beautiful.
Give me a couple of pinches of salt in there too, please. Thank you so much. You can
That'll do.
Also season after if you want to. Then I want you to crush these beautiful roasted. It's a clove of garlic to be roasted. I want you to pop them all in there. Try to get all of it out there.
Let's do our best. Look at that.
I'm saying what we're creating here is unctuousness, especially with the garlic.
It's like an aioli.
The are endless.
Oh, buddy, and you do this in the air fries. Whoa!
Give me a second.
That guy was just a little too anxious.
Honestly, I never knew Woolies made garlic jerseys. If I was a vampire, I would have died, okay? So
I'm just keeping you safe. Oh, that's beautiful.
Right. Can you pop the yolks in the bottom there? Thank you.
Ain't no yolk, my friend. You're just... Wait till I start the thing.
Can you do the... Yeah, and you just drop it in there.
So all of this
Thank
in
you.
there?
Yeah. And then
All
try
right.
to catch the yolks. There we go, done. And then try to catch the yolks of your blender at the bottom.
And then just
you go slowly.
stir it up, okay.
But if you need more, you can drop in some more there. That's fantastic. Hey, go for it. Go. Don't stop.
Go.
Don't stop. Just hit it. And you're gonna go up slowly. As you see the amount at the bottom, don't even tilt it. Keep it flat. And then
Okay. You can do it. There we go.
You can do it!
You can do it, my friend.
And then lift that when you're ready. Are you not proud of yourself?
I feel empowered. Now I'm going to have to try this at home, and you know we're going to butcher it.
No, but I mean, when you do it on live TV, I feel like you've achieved something
For
fantastic.
sure. It feels a
that.
little bit liquid, but it's...
I think you're doing very well, my brother. Keep it working through, because obviously emulsifiers, keep it working.
All right, so then this
Well done.
is getting thicker and thicker and thicker.
This is
There we
great.
go. I think we'll...
That's fantastic. So
We'll wrap this
that
up in a moment.
emulsifies and it does its thing. Once it's creamy and beautiful, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to dip it in there. But I do want you to try what we did earlier, which is the fried.
I'm so confused. I wanted to try one before we had
Yes.
fried it, just to get a baseline test of what it's going to taste
I
like.
just want you, does this whole thing work? That's the big question. What are you tasting?
It's quite sweet, dude.
It is sweet.
How crazy is that? It changes the profile completely, but that's funky, dude. I like that.
Amazing. And also you created a zingy aioli / mayonnaise, and it goes so beautifully with that. Little sweet, little sour. I mean, but is it working? Is it too sweet for chips? Are you going to enjoy a plate of chips like that?
I think it might be a little too much for me. I'm more of a salty kind of umami kind of guy.
Okay.
So I think it might get a little bit old, but for the right kind of flavor profile who doesn't like too much saltiness, I think this could be really cool. And it's a conversation starter, man. I like it.
All right, so are we looking at a success or a hot mess? I got a paddle for you.
I'm going to say,
judge.
just because I'm absolutely terrible at making mayonnaise, I'm going to say it was a hot mess.
But you gave it a try, dude. I mean, it's...
But from a flavor perspective, we'll say it's a success.
I won't lie.
There we go.
This is a bit of a mayo smoothie. That's great.
Too little of one thing
You know
or
what
too
the
much of
problem was,
another.
right? There was an ingredient that you're missing there.
Really?
You know what it was? It was the garlic juice that you squirted on me. That's like, if you just had that bit, that would have been perfect. But give it a shot, try it at home.
Two
If you want to
tablespoons
do
of garlic.
pickled fries, I want you to give it a shot at home. Perhaps send us the video of you making it and enjoying it with the aioli. And 063
What that aioli looks like.
888863. Wow, that's fantastic. I'm going to go wipe myself off, but you enjoy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we jump right in to a very important and really interesting conversation this morning. For many people, cultural perspectives play a significant role in shaping their approach to parenting duties, or at least it should be part of that conversation. And we're joined in studio now by registered counsellor Sadia Southgate to break down how we are influenced by society, because this plays out in a number of ways. Sadia, great to have you back. Really interesting one. Difficult not to be triggered by this kind of conversation because we all have our own cultural baggage coming into something like this. Would you say that these cultural norms, these ideas, place too much pressure on fathers, on mothers, on what their roles should be, and don't allow us to take that first step of deciding what we want our roles to be? It should be a conscious thing. How do you think these cultural norms and kind of the baggage we bring into relationships weigh out there?
Yeah, you know, it's the idea that the culture influences different behaviors of what is appropriate and not appropriate for both men and women. So typically it's seen that women are the ones that are more, you know, navigating through everything. They are the ones that's more nurturing, whereas men are more strong and bold, you know. So it's those different dynamics that we see, but we also understand that when it does come, you know, to the influences on mothers, is that they are seen as the ones that, you know, are at home with the kids, whereas dads are the ones that are more career-driven and goal-driven. So both these influences have a negative and a positive impact on the family as a whole.
We're oversimplifying something that is quite complex. Parenting is such a fine, detailed, nuanced journey. Are we not shooting ourselves in the foot? Certainly from a father's perspective, let's start there. Are we not denying fathers the best part of life by taking them out of that beautiful, intimate, nurturing phase of the parenting, or at least saying that that's not their responsibility? They can be present, but it's not their job.
Yeah.
I mean, surely we are missing a beat for the fathers.
Yes, exactly. And as you're saying, you know, we are missing the beat for that, because family, you know, is seen as a whole, not just as a mother taking care of the kids or just nurturing the kids, you know. And we understand that fathers actually play a very huge role in developing and growing the kids as well. They, for example, you know, form part of regulating the rules in the home, the discipline in the home. So inevitably, that is very important. And for a lot of the time, society kind of just put them on the side, and it's more of a job than actually having to see it as, you know, I get to do this and this is a privilege.
I mean, it's a constant. I struggle with a lot of these notions because it just feels like the parenting isn't on and off and on and off. It's like you're always parenting, and and you've got to just be transferring those roles. But there are moments where life makes it very difficult for you to step outside of that, because life expects you to work, expects you to have money, expects you to do these sorts of things. When it doesn't feel like you have a choice, where you've got to just get up and do what you've got to do. How do you broach this male-female role within your parenting context or in your family? Does it start with a conversation to say, what I need more of is this? How do you even broach that when you're just surviving?
Yeah, I love the fact that you say, you know, how do we, you know, even just approach it? Do we have a conversation and say, these are the expectations, I'm struggling with this, but the important thing is recognizing, you know, there are some resources that's not available to these parents. So, you know, in many communities where that is evident, we see that there are family members that are taking care of the kids, but then at the same time, the kids are then left to their own devices. Yeah. And you know, that then has a ripple effect on the family as a whole. But we also understand, yes, it always comes back, and we do understand even with these navigations is because they don't have access to these resources. But in overall, that kind of is a dynamic when that happens, is that parents aren't able to drop their kids off at school because they need to get to work, they're working long hours. So it's also that responsibility then gets placed on, you know, the grandparents or the family members, and then that triggers or cause conflict within the responsibility and just the perspective that parents have in their home.
All this seems to say to me we need to start from a place of open communication, and that needs to become the pattern. How do we start that conversation if that's what it needs to look like? Does it come from what I need? It's how I feel I can help you as the mother, as the father? How do we get the right language to be able to have this when desperation is probably going to be the dominant feeling within our family?
Yeah, it's communicating. communicating our expectations and communicating our needs, which is very important. A lot of the time we're just surviving instead of thriving.
Yeah.
So when we're communicating these needs, we're entering into that thriving stage and navigating through that. But I think for today, you know, in life, we want to have that joint responsibility. For example, instead of, you know, dad working, when mom is, for example, at work, dad is at home, he's cooking, he's bathing the kids, and he's taking care of the chores at home. And mom then disciplines when dad isn't there, because those roles are often, you know, different. And it's more of dad being the one that disciplines instead of mom. So we wait for dad to come home to discipline the child. But now we can actually just be okay communicating and expecting that it's okay to have joint responsibilities in the home.
And it has to be, and I think you've got to stop looking at these things like a list that needs to be ticked off and fulfilled, but look at the outcome that you're going for. You're wanting your child to be emotionally involved, you're wanting to feel supported, and I think as much as you feel like your work should dominate, maybe it's that 5 hours that you get with your child on a Saturday that refills your cup, that lets you work these ridiculously long hours, and vice versa. You need to unplug as a parent to get perspective. If you're a mom with your child all day, every day, you need to unplug. So we need this balance. What does that look like for you? We'd love to hear from you. 063-408-8863. Let us know how those gender roles are shifting within your family.
I mean, there's no magic trick to explain that, and that's why we have those discussions on our couch. But when there are magic tricks, we're going to bring it to you in a proper way. So, College of Magic, also known internationally as South Africa's Hogwarts, is joining us on the Expresso stage this morning. Alongside me is Sinatemba Bawuti, a teacher from College of Magic, a magic person in his own right, as well as some of the accomplished performers from his academy, so to speak. He also brought along some really, really great people who are going to entertain you today with some magic tricks. I love magic. I am the kid, right? Sinatemba, welcome, by the way. Oh, I am the kid. I don't know. I don't want to know where the rabbits come from. I don't care what the trick is, what the function of the trick is. I want to be wowed. Wow. The rabbit came from another dimension, and you magically brought it to our universe for me to see. And I can, because that's what I love about magic, is that you always become a kid. You always are that type of thing. But before we start, I know College of Magic is a special place. Tell me more about, you know, you and your involvement and your connection to College of Magic.
Actually, first of all, my name is Sinatemba Bawuti, and I am the Learning Development Officer for the College of Magic.
Nice.
Myself, I started as a student, and then today, look at me, I am a Learning Development Officer.
You made it.
Yeah, so College of Magic, actually, it's a school that teaches young people how to do the wonderful art of magic, and how to juggle, how to do puppetry, and as well as life skills as well. So in other words, College of Magic teaches life skills through magic. So yeah.
This is fantastic, man. I can feel the life skills from you, but I must just say I've done some stalking. And there was a certain USA news program that you were featured on. I saw that as well. How did that feel to kind of put your passion on the map on a global stage like that?
Yo. Man, it was an amazing experience for us, especially for our organization.
Yeah.
It really put us on the map. Actually, we getting a lot of people calling from all over around the world. They want to come and help. Actually, it did a lot for us. It really helped us a lot. Like, it really, there are a lot of people who want to come and help in, and people who want to donate, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, we are really grateful. It did a really big thing for us, yeah.
Well, I can see that you've really developed some talents. You brought along a few of them with you. Just two of them are alongside you. So, Sikalelwa, we'll start with you. So, apparently, water magic tricks. Is that your thing?
Yeah.
Yo, like, so what is a water magic trick? Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I first started a water magic trick.
Yes.
In June last year. It was the first time doing it. It was my first experience. But yeah, you know, I've been doing drama since from a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing drama, so yeah. So those things helped me, like, you know, put in so much effort in what I was doing.
Yes.
Because it was my first time, and I did it great. So that's why I brought it along from like last year to this year. But yeah, it really taught me a lot of things. It taught me where I came from, my background, you know, the African, background,
No, but I can feel, because on the African continent, you know, water security is terrible.
Something else.
So if you can create magic with water, I think what you're doing is you're putting a good spotlight on what could be. Yeah. And I think that you're creating a positive change in thoughts around water. And I think you could really impact some of the big people and organizations who can help water security on the African continent through magic. That's my dream for you. Do you feel like I'm trying to push a dream, you know, onto you? But I think that could really work as well. But then alongside you, you've got somebody who can pretty much juggle anything. You know, I struggle to juggle things in my own life, but this man is just doing it every single day. Vuyo, welcome. Juggling is practice. And when you're done practicing, you practice while you have a break from practicing, right?
Yes.
So how does the college of... He's like, I know, Sinatemba. Sinatemba just tells me, I don't sleep. I don't sleep. And I'm kidding. But, okay, Vuyo, tell me about how the College of Magic has impacted your life.
The College of Magic impact into my life.
Yeah.
I was a child and I was just learning juggling.
Yes.
But September come with College of Magic to my life.
Yeah.
And when I go to College of Magic, I think I was a second one to do a juggling. And in the college, I was the best juggler. And that makes me feel very happy.
Well, I mean, you must be proud of yourself because you come there as a boy. And you're just a boy from a community, and that's who you are. You step into Sinatemba's program and you become the #1 juggler. You are no longer that boy. You are an entertainer who needs to be taken seriously. And I think that's the power. Sinatemba, you need to be very proud, my friend.
I am proud.
What you've done with these incredible people. I know you brought another one along as well, but I just want to say to you, this College of Magic, it's not just about magic tricks.
Yeah, that's true.
The true magic is actually you are taking young people and you are raising them. You are teaching them disciplines of commitment, of practice, skills of making mistakes is okay.
It's okay.
It's part of the process. These are teachings that every youth, I believe, needs. And as we enter Youth Month very, very soon, why should magic be part of somebody's life? I mean, if you were to say to any young person who's thinking about doing magic, why is it such a powerful tool in creating these adults?
Man, magic is everything. Magic, it opens doors, man. Magic can teach a young person a discipline, and magic can change a young life.
Yeah.
Completely. And it helps you a lot. It helps your thinking as well. You become creative.
Yes.
And you are able to survive, you know, in life, actually, and you never go poor, like, you know, you never go hungry while you get the magic skill, like, in your hand. Anyway, I can walk out, like, from this room right now and take out a hat and put a hat on the road and start to do magic. And then people, of course, they will donate some money on the hat. And magic is everything, man. That's what I can say. And
thank you, man.
I advise all the young people, if they want to do it, they should come and join it. Magic is a wonderful art, you know.
It is.
Yeah, man.
It's so beautiful.
And it's unique.
You guys are unique. September, and of course, the magic trick experts that have come through. In fact, we are going to have a few of those tricks for you. But first, let me show you a trick. In the next 3 seconds, we'll disappear, and we'll come back after ads. In 3, 2, 1.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3, and we're on Expresso ourselves now because the College of Magic are in the building, and what they want to do is just show you some of the really great, incredible talents of their students, and you know, maybe your kid could be one of them. You never know. But we have Vuyo Lwetu here who's going to show you what juggling is all about. So I believe that if you are struggling with work and time management, I want you to watch this performance and realize that you can juggle all those things too. Take it away, Vuyo. The College of Magic, I present to you Vuyo. Ladies and gentlemen, the dynamic and amazing. This is how it goes, just juggling thing. I've never been able to do the juggling thing, but I know for a fact that you can if you join up with the College of Magic. We are going to keep these talented individuals around because why not? It's ahead of the weekend and it's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But of course, when it comes to all of the news around, we need to make sure that Graham is juggling that for you in your Feel Good Breakfast Show. So make sure you stick around. It's S3. Just feel amazing.
Like a pro. We absolutely love it. Let's start with our national news here in South Africa first. The Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe, says the decline in SA's attractiveness for investment can be partly attributed to load shedding and the failure of Transnet's network system. He was responding to the Fraser Institute's report on its 2022 survey of mining companies, in which SA was placed in the bottom 10 of 62 areas that were evaluated. Nevada State in the US is first, followed by Western Australia, and then Canada's province of Saskatchewan. Botswana is among the top 10, notably from an African perspective. Then audit outcomes of municipalities paint a bleak picture of how public finances are being managed. The Auditor General, the AG Tsakani Maluleke, presented the audit outcomes of municipalities to Parliament yesterday. And the AG has found a reduction in the number of clean audits, with the city of Tshwane receiving an adverse finding. The AG said poor financial management and crumbling municipal infrastructure impacted service delivery negatively and caused the public harm. Now, casting a wider gaze on the international news front, residents of South Korea's capital city, Seoul, woke to the sound of an air raid siren and an evacuation message played out over loudspeakers yesterday. So the warning was a false alarm prompted by a failed attempt by North Korea at launching a spy satellite into space, which ended up crashing into the sea. Now, South Korea managed to salvage some of the satellite debris, and residents of Okinawa in the south of Japan were also issued a warning in response to that launch. Then moving to Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who has said in Burundi that preparation for an intergovernmental deal on nuclear energy is now in its final stage. This after talks on Tuesday with Burundi's Foreign Minister Albert Shingiro in Bujumbura. Now, the two countries signed a nuclear energy roadmap deal in November last year, in which Russia agreed to assist Burundi in constructing nuclear plants. And we quote now, the roadmap on nuclear energy has already been signed between Russia's State Energy Corporation and its Burundian partners. That was according to Lavrov. Now, hopefully this will inspire you for the rest of today. A choir of 9 boys and 11 girls from Maradeni Township in Newcastle in KwaZulu-Natal has arrived in the UK for a 3-week tour and cultural exchange. So Project Zulu is an initiative run by the University of the West of England in partnership with township schools here in South Africa. The choir's first performance was in Bath, where they raised some £1,600, more than 39,000 rand, in less than 1 hour. That's what they could do. And the money will go towards building 2 new classrooms for 2 schools in Maradeni Township. That is a success story. Well done, young'uns. And that's where we leave our news highlights for now. We'll touch on them again at the top of the hour. Right now, though, let's head to Europe for the latest on the sporting front.
Let's start off with the UEFA Europa League. The final was just last night, and Sevilla claimed a record-extending 7th Europa League title as they beat Roma on penalties at the raucous Puskás Arena in Budapest. And, of course, Gonzalo Montiel, who also scored the winning penalty for Argentina in the World Cup final against France, repeated the trick for the Spanish side following a 1-1 draw with a retaken spot kick after Roger Ibanez and Gianluca Mancini had missed for Roma. During the 90 minutes, Paulo Dybala had opened the scoring 10 minutes before half-time. 10 minutes after half-time, it was an own goal from Mancini that drew the Spanish side level. Now, staying with football, but going locally, Maritzburg United took a huge leap towards staying in the top flight after their 2-0 win. That's against Castridge Stars in the PSL promotion and relegation playoffs. Of course, on Wednesday at the Harry Gwala Stadium, a first-half brace by Rowan Himan ensured Maritzburg clinched a significant advantage over Cape Town Spurs in the PSL playoffs log standings. The team of choice moved ahead of Spurs, who beat Castridge 1-0 on Sunday in the mini-league due to their superior goal difference. Maritzburg will now travel to Cape Town for their fixture against Spurs. That'll be on Saturday, an exciting one indeed. On to rugby. Springbok prop Kuni Oosthuizen has signed a deal to return to Durban to play for the Sharks. The 34-year-old had left Durban to join the English club Sale Sharks in May 2019. He went on to make 94 appearances for the Manchester-based Sharks, including 16 this season as they reached their first premiership final in 17 years. Now, Sale lost 35-25 to Saracens in the final at Twickenham, but Kuni is coming home. And on to tennis news, Novak Djokovic's political message about Kosovo at the French Open was not appropriate and shouldn't happen again, says France's sports minister Amélie Oudéa-Castéra. Now, said there needs to be a principle of neutrality for the field of play. That's, of course, the quote. And Serb Djokovic wrote, "Kosovo is the heart of Serbia. Stop the violence," on a camera lens. It is in reference to recent tension in Kosovo, which declared independence from Serbia in 2008. World governing body, the International Tennis Federation, said Djokovic's statement did not violate any rules because the Grand Slam rulebook does not ban political statements. And that's it for your sport for now. More updates somewhere between now and, of course, the top of the hour. But traffic details are quite important. If you're heading to work, here's what's ahead of you. Graham's got all the deets.
Thank you so much, Cole. Let's get you to work safely and start in KZN. In Ashburton, in fact, there's been a truck accident on the N3 eastbound. The road has been closed until further notice. Quite a bad one. Please plan your route accordingly. Moving to the mother city in Gordons Bay in Cape Town. In fact, the road has been closed until further notice on the R34. That's the R44 on Clarence Drive. This is between Gordons Bay and Roy Else. Please use an alternative route and stay safe in the inclement weather. Let's get into some of that weather. SA Weather Service has now warned that the cold weather presently being experienced in many parts of South Africa will last for another day at least. It's chilly out there. The Western Cape already had excellent rain and more is expected over the weekend, hopefully in the right catchment areas. Meanwhile, regarding the mini tornado that hit Bloem on Tuesday, the question has been asked, was this indeed a mini tornado? Well, speculation is rife that it could be instead a downdraft air displacement playing out, but the Weather Service has, however, confirmed that reports were received of a tornado, literally a tornado, hitting Bloem on Tuesday. Crazy stuff. Well, let's see the flip side of that coin and how your skies looked when it's not raining. Thank you so much for these beautiful sunrise contributions from Rawanya, standing outside of the beautiful green field. Wow, snapped this beautiful view of Johannesburg. Then Andrew from Belito, capturing beautiful cloud formations. Nice one. Derek out in North Beach, showcasing a breathtaking view on the beach. That's how you make us jealous. Sun colours blazing up over the ocean. Just wow. Then Nancy, Governor, one of our favourites. Morning, Nance, enjoying her daily cardio on the beach, showing off how stunning the beach shells are. That's a beautiful shot. I mean, hopefully you're getting as fit as you are good at taking photos, Nancy. Absolutely beautiful. Keep them coming, guys. Share your views on 063-408-8863. Right, let's see what the temperatures have in store for us on this Klein Vrydag. Starting in Polokwane, where you have a low of 6 going up to 25 degrees, and Bombela ranging between 10 and 26. Moving to Pretoria, 6 your low going up to 19. Johannesburg, chilly one, you are ranging between 5 and 17. Mahikeng dropping further, 2 and 20 your range for today. Klerksdorp, you start on 1 going up to only 17 degrees today. Kimberley ranging between 3 and 16. Bloem minus 2 degrees is where you start and you only thaw out at 14. Richards Bay ranging between 11 and 22 with some thunder showers expected there. Pietermaritzburg ranging between 6 and 18. You can expect the thunder showers as well. Durbs 13 and 22. Umtata, your low 4 going up to 18. Moving to East London, ranging between 12 and 22 degrees today. Moving to Craddock now, 13 your low going up to 16. Mabaja, 10 your low going up to 22. And then moving inland to George, you can expect the rain to kick in. 11 your low going up to 19 and 84% chance of rain there. Not so the case in the mother city. 11 your low going up to only 19. Worcester ranging between 9 and 21 with a slight chance of rain. Sutherland, chilly day, 4 and 14 your range. Uppington, really moderate by your standards. 6 your low going up to 22 degrees today. But as we always say, regardless of the weather, make sure it's a beautiful day, as beautiful as this face.
Speak for yourself, Graham. Speak for yourself. But I can tell you, beautiful is exactly what conversation is. And we love discussing a lot of the important things, including maternity versus paternity. We want to know all the dynamics. We've covered most of them. Parental responsibility and, of course, legalities around parenting is coming up for you as well. And then the dynamics in queer relationships are also coming up for you on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So if you have any questions, 063-408-8863. We'd love to have some of those questions and pose it to our panel of experts a little later. So stay there. It is your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Jacobs 3-in-1, the perfect combination of coffee, milk, and sugar. Jacobs, the magic aroma.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we rejoin a very important conversation, but look through a slightly different lens now. Maternity and paternity refer to the periods of leave and benefits provided to new parents, typically after the birth or adoption of a child. And here to discuss the ins and outs of maternity and paternity from a legal standpoint is Bernard Reisner, the Cape Labour and Industrial Consultant representative here today. Bernard, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
This is obviously going to be a legal discussion, so we're going to get into a lot of the jargon and the information that needs to be known that we often miss or don't even know is there to help us. So thank you so much for being here to cast a light. Let's maybe start with the legal rights and responsibilities of a mother and father during maternity and paternity leave. Where do we start this journey?
Okay, just initially, it's quite important that UIF Act has come into being from the 1st of April 2002. And all workers who work for 24 hours or more per month must contribute to the fund. That is the general scenario for employers, employees in the business environment.
That's where it starts.
Okay, and
sure.
Of course, from the 1st of April 2023, that act applied to domestic workers. So it's very important. And I just want to give you a slight background because there are employees that are excluded to be able to register and claim from this fund.
Okay.
And those employees who work less than 24 hours per month.
Okay.
And public servants, for instance.
Okay.
And people who enter into a learnership agreement.
Okay.
So this is very important that not every employee is
not a given, for sure.
Given to be entitled to register and claim UIF benefits.
Okay.
Now, just another important scenario is that many employers in this country fail to even register their employees for UIF.
How does this break the process down? Because we hear about this so often, and I think a lot of people are just living in denial or just not being a part of that. How does this affect the system if we are not registering employees within our ecosystem onto to UIF? What does this mean for the system itself?
You see, the system has its functionalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the system is in place to cope with the provisions of the Act. Yet, the problem lies, as you inferred, with the failure of employers to register. Now, when they fail to register their employees, that is, in fact, a criminal offence.
I was going to say, yeah.
Okay, not only that, when there is a dire need for an employee to register and claim for, whether it is, in this case, as I say, for maternity leave or paternity leave, they approach the Department of Employment and Labour and their claim is not processed accordingly, because if you go in, for instance, into the office of the Department of Employment and Labour and the UIF inspector, then brings up the database and it reveals that this particular employer is not even on our system.
Not even registered.
Or there are shortfalls in the UIF contributions. The UIF official might say, listen, we cannot process the UIF claim until these issues are rectified.
And I'm wondering how many times this happens, how many, an hour's lost there, 2 hours lost there, half a day of work's lost there. When you look at the impact in that system, I want to ask you to think about, just as a starting point, because I think a lot of people who are about to enter into this phase are thinking, what do I get? When I get my paternity leave, when I get my maternity leave, what am I owed if all the right boxes have been ticked, if my employer has registered, and if I've been making the right kind of contributions to the UIF? What is that expectation? We're going to get into that in just a moment. If you're about to enter into this phase yourself, if you're about to take paternity or maternity leave, these are the elements you need to know about. We'll continue in just a moment.
Bonjour, mes amis. Get ready for croissant fil Wäsche that will take you straight to the charming streets of France. We are about to show you 3 ways to enjoy a buttery croissant. These creations are delight when you are tasting this. They can say, ooh la la, and I've got somebody who is the embodiment of ooh la la. This Gabi is chef at this Italian, but we are going to change it to French today. So, Gabi, bonjour, comment allez-vous?
Bonjour, comment va?
Ça va très bien et toi?
Si. Non, oui, sorry.
Pouvez-vous m'aider à parler français? S'il vous plaît? Okay, cool. Lovely. Yes. Away. Right, we're back home. Thank you. Now, we actually had the best time asking you to try and pronounce that word that people always have different ways of saying. The word, C-R-O-I-S-S-A-N-T. And we have a few voice notes that have come through on 063-408-8863 as to how you pronounce that word, which is great. So I want you to continue sending it through because I've heard some. Wow. But of course, first and foremost, good morning.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
And Italian doing French stuff.
I know.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of
I actually made, funny enough, a croissant bread and butter pudding yesterday. So instead of doing bread, I used croissants, and it was... So just FYI, leftover ones.
Wow.
Cool idea.
So what we're going to do is, instead of actually making it, we're going to show you some preparations that'll be quite nice for you. 3 different ways of enjoying your croissant. So we've got Gabby showing us over here. I see, this is like your wheelhouse. So I almost feel like you need to be here.
I know, it's like a lot of things.
Yes, there are a lot of things. I'm going to stand by the croissants. You stand over there.
Perfect.
That's how it goes. Perfect. Done and dusted, okay? So let's start off with this filling, because I'm seeing pistachio here.
Yes.
It's great.
So essentially what this is like a pistachio buttercream. So we've obviously got our butter, which is now a little bit melted, so it's nice and soft. We've got our icing sugar, cornstarch, vanilla, egg, and obviously your pistachio. So we're going to start with our icing sugar.
All right.
Which we're going to... And I need to remember which one is icing sugar and which one is
do
cornstarch.
the taste test, it's fine. Just don't double dip.
That's all. Oh. I was like trying to... I will not, don't worry. I've learned my lesson.
No, I've done it a few times. They're like, why are you double dipping? I didn't even realize. Right, so icing sugar in first with your room temperature butter. And the butter we have is fantastic. I don't know if you're the Clover, the Moy River butter.
No, this is an amazing butter. It works so well.
Good. But what I like about it is that you can take it out of the refrigerator and immediately it just feels like it's starting to work for you and get to room temp, which is also great. And also Moy River, beautiful river, that's where they get it from. It makes sense.
Which makes total sense.
Yes.
So I'm going to add a little bit of our vanilla now.
Thank you so much. This is so good.
And we're going to add our cornstarch.
The cornstarch is magic in terms of what that does,
Yes, absolutely.
I've seen it in so many applications, and cornstarch just brings things together. It gives it a certain, like a stiffness when you need it. It gives it volume when you need it. It gives it viscosity when you need it. That's what I love about
Sounds like a hair product.
It does. But actually, you could probably use... I think you do. There's you could actually do a cornstarch gel, which is quite... I know it sounds weird. I just figured out while you're doing that, I've got something for you. Now, here's a fun fact when you find yourself in the streets of France, right? Why not order yourself a croissant like a real Parisian, all right? All you have to do is you have to say this, right? Je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît. It means that I'd like a...
Oh, I gathered.
I'd like a croissant.
It sounds so much sexier when you say it in French, eh? You just like, hi, can I have a croissant?
Think about that, right? Do you say, hey, can I have my ID? I've been waiting for the, my ID at Home Affairs here. Or do you say, I would like my ID? S'il vous plaît.
That would, I think, would create some red flags at Home Affairs.
You'd be jumped at the front of the queue with that
accent. Do you think so? I'll let you know next time I'm at Home Affairs. I'll try that out.
So just give them an accent, So you're doing your thing with the pistachio.
So, this is now done, and essentially we're going to keep a little bit just to crumble on top just to keep the texture going. So, that is such a beautiful filling. So, for this now, we're going to take our croissant.
Yes, we
cut it in half.
In half.
And then we can kind
Which half do you do? Because I controversially do it that way, but okay. I do.
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, we'll have to, sorry,
I don't
apologies.
understand. Okay, you can't do a filling like that.
So, you know, because I do it that way so it stays in place.
That's so
you
not
have it like that,
yourself
and you cut it
anything
this.
better
You
right
know
now.
what? Just to make you, right, understand me, I'm going to do it this way. It's going to change the game for you, okay?
No, it's not.
It's going to change the game. There we go.
But
you
how
put
do
it
you...
that way, so that you enjoy the.
But the thing is,
the
once you
actual
close
croissant.
it, it's gonna. You know what? We're not gonna have an argument.
Let's have an argument about the way we cut our croissants.
I'm just not understanding it right now. But you know what? Maybe I will later.
Okay, so now that you're doing that, I actually have we have something around the pronunciation of this croissant. I know it's quite tough, but we have something for you to listen to as reference. So take a listen to this.
Je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah, je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît.
That was really sexy.
Je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît.
How easy was that, hey? And I mean, we actually asked you, you know, just gave you a little bit of a chance with some voice notes. So here's Insaf. Let's take a listen of these pronunciation of croissant, croissant, whichever one. Let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Insaf. I'm from Cape Town. I pronounce croissant as croissant, but if I'm feeling fancy, I'll say croissant.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't have to be fancy to say that. I mean, that's fine. Okay, but it's the next one. Let's go for it.
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm
Hi,
from
Erin.
Cape Town, and I pronounce croissant as croissant.
You know what I like about that thing? Is that you went from I pronounce croissant like croissant. There were like two pronunciations in one sentence. That's mind-blowing. Next one. Here we go.
Hi guys, it's definitely a croissant for me.
And you know what? I got love for you for that because you know what? You're an English individual. Croissant works for you. I love that.
It's no
All right?
pressure,
Monique's
right?
next.
When you're in France and you want to order a croissant, you say, un croissant, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, un croissant. Okay, Jasmine is about to show you the world.
Good morning, Espresso. I think it's definitely croissant.
Jasmine, can I just say outright, I love it when you speak foreign. I'm just saying. I do it. I love it. So, croissant, but as long as you get it... You know, the great thing is we are jumping into cultures, and I think cultures and languages should be bridges to people and not segregators. So if someone says croissant, don't reprimand them and say, oh, it's supposed to be croissant. You know, if they're English and they want to say it, I think that the key to communication is to be understood. So if you want a croissant, if you want a croissant, if you want a croissant, if you're understood, that's all that counts. Are you doing the chocolate version as
I'm
well?
adding the chocolate one.
I see you've been working hard behind me. Wow, can I tell you, the filling in this
Okay, so
way,
to be fair,
right?
I take it back. I take it because I needed to understand.
Okay,
what you, but it's
so-
almost like a hot dog now, which is making me feel a bit weird. But I get the vibe.
No.
But it can work. It can
Because
work.
I'm saying presenting it, do you not think that'll look better?
That does. Okay, so in your defense,
Okay,
it
yes.
does look better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with it.
Thank you,
but
Chef.
it can work.
I'm going to change your mind on everything. I might just chop this thing a different way now. 3 ways. Okay, cool. So we got
So now
chocolate.
we're doing the chocolate ganache.
Chocolate one.
So
while you do
essentially-
that,
yeah,
I'm going to do the
please.
one that I'm used to at any sort
Thanks,
of
I
good
appreciate it.
a deli on Somerset Road. Right? Here we go.
Yeah, so pretty much now what we've got is I've heated some of our clover cream.
Yes.
Our pouring cream and into some dark chocolate. And then literally now it's just going to let it whisk and sit and it will become a beautiful ganache. And what you've obviously got going over there
Yes.
is some beautiful Gouda cheese from Clover with
Oh.
some bacon, with
Yes.
some fried egg, with some chives.
Yes.
So then you've got more of your savoury.
This is the
Your
savory
savoury option.
version, which I'm living for. And then I've got my perfectly cooked
Yes,
eggs as well, which I'm
absolutely.
going to place perfectly without breaking the yolks, please. Thank you. I broke that yolk, I'll be honest.
No one will know, it's fine.
No, nobody's...
You're going to close the
They'll never
croissant
know.
anyway, it's fine.
They'll never know. There we go. And then we're going to finish with some chives. And
Looks beautiful.
we are good to go. Thank you so much. Well, we gave you a bunch of pistachio. We got, I think that's called the pain au chocolat, this one. And then we've got the beautiful natural breakfast one. Gabby, it's been amazing making
Thank
croissants to you. And just to let you know, it's probably the preferred presentation according to me. I'm just saying. So if you want to get your hands on any of the recipes or our fillings, please go to expressoshow.com. And that's not all. Get ready for an extraordinary French escapade with Clover. Grab any Clover product, like today's butter and cheese that we used in these croissants, and you could be part of an exhilarating clash between South Africa and Scotland in the vibrant stadiums of France. Plus, 5 fortunate winners and their partners will embark on a luxurious cruise to the enchanting paradise that is Ibiza. Now we're going to Spain, sailing away from the captivating port of, we're back to France, Marseille. Now, of course, simply buy any Clover product and keep your till slip handy, then dial star 120 star 560 hash and follow the prompts to enter. Keep watching Expresso daily to find out more. T's and C's can be found on clover.co.za. S'il vous plaît, très bien. Au revoir.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining the conversation. Bernard Reisner is back with us this morning as we wrap up our discussion around the legal aspects of maternity and paternity. Now, many countries and organizations are moving towards more inclusive family leave policies, such as parental leave or family leave, if you will, which can be taken by either parent or shared between both parents, regardless of gender or biological relationship to the child. Is South Africa at that point? Not quite yet. So, Bernard, we're going to have to, I think, as simply as possible, break down expectation around maternity leave and then paternity. Let's start with maternity. What's on the table?
An employee is entitled to at least 4 months consecutive maternity leave.
Okay.
And they can commence that period any time before the birth of the child.
Okay.
Which is, but it's preferable that your medical practitioner or your midwife has to certify that in writing in terms of issuing a medical certificate.
Okay.
So if for instance, and in this day and age, there's an employee who's going on maternity leave is financially going to be constrained in terms of income. The employer has no obligation to pay the employee any salary during the period of maternity leave.
No obligation.
No obligation, and that's very important. There is numerous employers that top up an employee's salary during the period of maternity leave, but it is an agreement between the parties.
And I would imagine that's becoming more and more important now in the current climate. I'm sure people are marking that down.
It is so, yet certain employers have to produce what we call and draft a clawback clause.
Okay.
Because imagine, and it happens, an employee that goes on maternity leave is given a fairly substantial top-up amount in terms of salary. And then she decides she's not going to be returning. So this clawback clause is essential.
Sure.
And I have had certain experiences where employers fail to draft these clawback clauses or have anything reduced to writing to recover their salary. Now, you and I might understand how difficult it is to recover monies when a person is no longer in your employ and has breached, let's say, even a verbal / a written agreement to repay that amount. You have to then go through a civil process to recover that money.
Process.
And it's time-consuming, costly, and you may never recover that money, especially if that person is not at a specific address.
Or position to be able to pay it back, for instance. Okay, so that highlights the need to have your ducks in a row in that sense. Just very quickly, if we can wrap this up with the paternity question. So because this seems to be an area that is still very grey, what is due the father and what are the obligations on the employer when it comes to paternity leave?
Okay, in terms of paternity leave, the employee, just let's say the husband in this case, would be entitled to 10 days paternity leave entitlement. And it's the same process that you have to apply via UIF to claim that amount of money. Now, it's a short period, 10 days, in comparison, let's just say, to the maximum of 4 months for paternity leave. And I'm just wondering at times whether and how many husbands, let's say, apply to register and claim for that nominal amount of money. Is it too much of an onerous process?
To warrant it, yeah.
To go through those motions to claim that amount, or does one just overlook it? Now, as I'm saying, it's very important to determine whether you should do so or not. And then there's all these hurdles, because you can go and process something, whether it's electronically via the portal of the UIF,
Set up, yeah.
or you go in person, and if there are glitches and hitches, you're going to become very frustrated.
And just tap out, yeah. I get a sense of your daily frustrations in this space. I'm so grateful that there are people watching every element as these laws progress. It feels like there is still a lot of progression needed when it comes to balancing out the roles and responsibilities over that critical phase. If this is affecting you right now, if you are caught in a battle as it relates to paternity, maternity leave, and your own world, we'd love to hear from you and get your insights and perspective, especially if you're a same-sex couple and you have hit a wall. We'd love to hear from you. 063-408-8863. The key thing here is to be aware and fully educated. And if you need to speak to someone, make sure that you get all the information you need. Bernard, thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Great discussions and some tricks up our sleeve on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. Joining us is the College of Magic, also known internationally as South Africa's Hogwarts. Now, one of the incredible teachers was here earlier, Sinatembe, showing us a bit more about these students and who they are and where they're from. We have one of them here is Luto. And now, Luto, you are one of those card tricksters, I believe, right?
Yes.
So tell me, College of Magic, as a college itself, how has it been for you?
It has been awesome because it has given me a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
Like this, for instance. And I've also going to be in the Escape show, which is a great opportunity
that's
also.
so cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, so Luto, I love magic, okay? If you need me as a volunteer, you must just let me know. I'll come and stand on the volunteer side of you over here, and let's go. There we go. So what are we going to do? And
Okay.
yeah.
So here I've got a pack of playing cards.
Okay,
just want to
perfect.
give them a shuffle.
Thank you.
And just want you to take note that everything that's going to be done will be done with a shuffle deck of playing cards.
Okay.
Now, I want you to just take a card.
All right. Is it a card that you want me to show to them?
Yes, that's
okay,
your
cool,
card.
no problem. I can't show it to you,
Yes,
though.
don't show it to
Because, I
me.
mean, that's not magic, is it? Think about that. Right, can I pick one?
Take a card, take a card.
Okay, I got one, Thank
Look
you
at the
so
card,
much.
show everyone, don't show me. I've got it. And you know what, to make it more interesting, can you just put a signature on your card? Or your
Can I put a
initials.
signature?
Signature or your initials, it's fine.
Just one moment. Just
and tell
one
me
moment,
when
please.
you're done.
Put it in here. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ready?
Cool, got it.
Perfect. Now, can I have the marker, please?
Yes, you may have the marker.
Thank you. Now, as I refer to the deck, I want you to say stop anywhere you like.
Yes.
As I refer to the
Okay.
deck.
Go. Stop.
Right over there?
Yep.
Perfect. Put your card right over here. Perfect. And we're just going to put the rest on top.
All right.
Oop, that was a mess. Okay, but it's fine.
That's
Put
what
the rest on top.
magic's supposed to be that way, you know? All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Now I'll give the cards a cut.
Thank you.
Oops, sorry. Give the cards a cut.
Right.
And with a little bit of magic gesture and dramatic gesture,
Yes.
and a snap, one card jumps on,
Okay.
should jump on top.
Yes, almost there.
Joker.
No.
Now I want you to just imagine your card very big in your head.
Okay.
Very big in your head.
Okay.
Imagine your card.
Imagine.
You've got your card in the big in your head.
Yes, yes.
Send that energy to me.
Sending the energy to you.
Send it.
Sending it.
I'm
Sending it.
getting something. Why is it so dark inside there?
I don't know. I haven't had coffee yet. That's why. It's fine. There we
Okay,
go.
you know what?
Cool. I like the energy transfer. That was amazing.
Okay, as I told
Yeah.
you, one card jumped on card.
Yes. It was the Jack of Diamonds actually jumped up, yes, and now it's King of
So
Hearts.
this is not your card, right?
No, dude, I'm sorry.
Could you just borrow me your left hand, please?
The left hand, okay?
Yes, I'm gonna put the king right over here.
Okay.
Now you put your other hand on top. Perfect.
Okay.
I'll just refer to the deck just like this.
All right.
And there's an old saying that says, "What the eye see in the mind, what I see in the ears hear, the mind believes."
That's
So just
correct.
Snap. One card just jumps from the pack into your hand.
Okay.
I just hope it's your card.
I also hope
me
so.
just look.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh my word, with my signature, we've just added value to this card. You can keep that. I'm kidding. No, Luto, that was fantastic. Well done. College of Magic, what sensational talents they have. And of course, so many more of them performing for you in your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Luto, ladies and gentlemen. Love it, dude.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Let's shift gears just a little bit and hone in on our little ones. Sensory and educational toys are like power-packed superheroes that make learning and growing a blast for the kids as well. They're not your average toys. They're designed to tickle the senses, unleash a world of amazing experiences, activate the imagination. And with vibrant colors, cool textures, quirky sounds, these toys are key to unlocking your child's full potential. Now, occupational therapist Beth Connolly is here to discuss the stages and importance of early childhood development through sensory and educational toys. Beth, thank you. Thank you for being here. But thank you for being this. Thank you for focusing on early childhood development. For me, the building blocks of life. Literally, if we don't get this right, you are setting your child up for failure. And I hate to be so severe about something like this, but this is where it all goes down. It's an interesting space to play in and a lot of fun if you fully embrace it. So maybe a good starting point would be where we start, introducing the sensory, the color, the fun stuff. What's going on in our child's brain through this phase, and why is the stimulation so important?
Oh, such a good question. Well, I have to say it's a privilege for children to have toys like this.
For sure.
Before the age of 2, children engage in something called sensory motor play, when they're learning to understand their world through their senses, through physical actions. So by engaging in with toys like this, children are developing a strong foundation for future learning. So it can help develop problem-solving skills, reasoning, memory, social skills, even, so really vital foundational skills.
Yeah, and we laugh about it. We can look back and laugh to say, oh, that's when you learned how to deal with the crowd, deal with disappointment, deal with frustration. But that's literally what's happening. These are vital stages. I think there's a lot of pressure on parents when you're looking at other children's development, thinking, I need to hit the walk by this, the crawl by this, the stand up, the hand eye. Every child is completely different, but there is a roadmap. Why is it so important to hit those stages when you do? What are the dangers of a child lagging a little bit in one area or another?
So with development, it's a predictable pattern. It's a trend that we can follow. A child needs to roll before they can sit. They need to sit before they can crawl and then walk and so on. So we have to follow those trends. We have developmental checklists. People can speak to their healthcare professional to monitor it as well. It's very important that we monitor a child's development because they are critical learning phases for development. For example, if a child's not walking by the age of 2 years old, we're seeing some red flags, and we have some concerns about whether that child will be able to walk independently for the rest of their life. It's the same with speech. There's critical learning phases where the brain is best suited to
It's wired to do that.
Yeah, to developing that skill.
Good. That being said, it's not all doom and gloom and terror when you don't hit one of these. And this isn't a job, this is fun, this is play. How do these toys, and I'm looking specifically at the Crazy Stores range of toys, which I've dipped into many times. Talk us through these kinds of toys and how they are used in the right kind of way to stimulate, to activate and grow.
Yes. So I must also say each child is unique and they will reach developmental milestones at a different age. But we've got to cater these toys to each child. So we've got to monitor their response. Maybe some child will really love the textures, the colors. Other kids might be a bit overwhelmed. But the great thing about these toys is that they can help a child to develop those early senses so that they can learn how to respond appropriately. So let's take this one, for example.
Give us a little demonstration.
Can I give a demonstration?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so this is a shape sorter, I understand. We have this in in our occupational therapy practice.
I've got 5 of them at home.
They're perfect, they're wonderful. So we've got a variety of shape cutouts here. All the shapes are inside. And so by the age of 1.5 years old, a child can fit in a circle shape and a square shape. By 2.5 years old, they can put a triangle in. By 3 years old, they can actually identify or recognize those basic shapes as well. And as they get older, you can develop those skills as they develop the visual perception for matching as well.
Drawing a heart.
Yes, as well.
Yes,
so they have to first be able to match the shapes before they can draw the shapes, before they can name them as well. So this is really great.
And that's waking up like the left and the right side of the brain as they're working and the problem solving. I absolutely love that. Why do we like to bash things? Why do we love to hammer and bash things and make as much noise as possible when we're little?
Early frustration tolerance development, maybe. Eye-hand coordination, it's great. Early tool manipulation skills, basic shape learning.
Yes.
It's great.
I think it's to develop a sense of satisfaction. I
Yes.
love that.
Channel the energy here, not to your brother or your sister.
Well, this is the thing, and I mean, thankfully we don't have the tambourine option here. Is if you don't like someone in your family, buy them that and give it to their kids. The bath stuff is really, really cute because it gets tactile, and it says to me that you can learn a lot about your child through the playing process because it's kind of a question and answer thing. Even if they don't have the language, they can show you. You can see how they're feeling. Let's draw a face on the bath and see how do visual aids and toys like the bath pens, which are amazing, how do these aid in that development?
Oh, it's a good question. So early pre-writing skills can be developed. Pencil control, how do I hold a pencil? How do I interact with this? Also, the position of the bath wall being a bit upright helps with the shoulder stability, which is very important for handwriting control. So lifting it up like this.
For sure.
Learning how to draw those basic symbols like vertical, horizontal lines, circles. Color development and learning that. I would really recommend that parents draw basic symbols with that first and ask the child to copy it.
To emulate, for sure. That's how we taught our son to write his name, and it actually really did work like that. Very lastly, I've got to ask, so we get a steering wheel to drive the frustration so that we can hammer it out afterwards. Why do we see steering wheels, these kinds of bits of technology, this kind of toy represented in this phase of development?
So this is great for sensory motor play when you're learning cause and effect relationships. So if I press this button, I get this response. And then they learn that they can control their physical actions to get a response. So more control.
Move out the way.
Yeah. And then when they're 4 to 6 years old, fantasy play. Oh, get in the car, let's go. Boom, 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 or broom, whatever. So for different stages of development, this has different uses.
Absolutely beautiful. We have got you covered. You must have the best and most challenging job at the same time.
Oh, I love it.
It must be absolute magic. So thank you on behalf of all the parents who you've helped and the young'uns you've helped set on their way. Thank you so, so much.
It's a pleasure.
You are sorted with the Crazy Store's accessible and very much affordable Koi range by your side. We are sorted. The sky's not just the limit for our little ones, it's the starting point of an incredible adventure. So get ready to watch them reach literally for the stars, or draw one, maybe.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, you'll find great value for the whole family at the Crazy Store. So duck into a store near you and be surprised.
So from that particular developmental thing, of course, we had to ask you about thinking about what we've been chatting about, maternity versus paternity. And what does that look like in the ideal world? And does it affect those same-sex couples as well as people who adopt? That's the question for the morning. And thank you for commenting so beautifully. We'd love to read a few, in fact, play a few voice notes if we can as well. But let's take a look initially to the first. All right, so Teresa Micah saying this. Good morning. My favorite beautiful Expresso fam. You're our favorite, Teresa. Thank you. I think everyone should be entitled, irrespective of gender. There are fathers out there who want to be present and involved, who also want to bond with their babies too. So that speaks to the traditional gender roles of what a male should be doing, a female should be doing as well. But of course, there are new things in this particular world that we do acknowledge with respect as well. But let's go for another one over here. Linda Hubert saying, I believe women are taking up their rightful place in society and playing the role of both good nurturers. How they are equally successful in the corporate world or skilled expertise. That's #Expresso Show. Jabula also commenting, in today's life, we have to work together to raise our family. It does take a village, and it takes everybody to be intimately involved in raising kids. But more importantly, everybody should be afforded that equality of time so that they can really, really engage and develop and raise their kids as well. But keep on commenting. We'd love to hear from you. Maternity versus paternity in an ideal world. 063 408 8863. We'd love to get a voice note from you or a comment on Facebook or Twitter. So please get involved and stick with us. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Making a cappuccino with thick creamy froth is now impressively easy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we head into the final hour of the show. As gender roles get a little bit grey, we are looking at maternity, paternity in particular, and what maternity leave looks like for same-sex couples. It's a little bit terrifying. Stick around for that discussion, but let's give you some talking points with those news and sports headlines.
Thanks a lot, G. We figured we'd actually steal a march on news so we can get the discussions going. So we're a bit before 8 o'clock, and of course, this is your feel-good breakfast show. Now, let's start off with the Hawks in Northwest. They have arrested 4 people in Mahikeng, found in possession of pangolins. The men were trying to sell the highly endangered species for some 200,000 rand. The suspects, aged between 29 and 45, are facing charges of contravening the National Environmental Management Biodiversity Act and are expected to appear in the Mahikeng Magistrates Court today. The pangolins have been removed to a wildlife veterinary hospital. Now, the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe, says the decline in SA's attractiveness for investment can be partly attributed to load shedding and the failure of Transnet's network system. Now, he was responding to the Fraser Institute's report on its 2022 survey of mining companies, in which SA was placed in the bottom 10 of 62 areas that were evaluated. Nevada State in the US is first, followed by Western Australia and Canada's province Saskatchewan. Botswana is among the top 10. On to international news. Nigeria's State Oil Corporation, NNPC, is proposing to increase fuel prices to nearly 24 rand per litre from around 10 rand, according to a circular it sent to fuel stations yesterday. The circular came after panic buying caused prices to jump to about that level as Nigerians rushed to fill their tanks ahead of the expected ending of a government subsidy that had been keeping prices low. Nigeria's new president, Bola Tinubu, said in his inauguration speech on Monday that the subsidy would be scrapped. Residents of South Korea's capital city of Seoul woke to the sound of an air raid siren and an evacuation message played over loudspeakers yesterday. The warning was a false alarm prompted by a failed attempt by North Korea at launching a spy satellite into space, which ended up crashing into the sea. South Korea managed to salvage some of the satellite debris. Residents of Okinawa in south of Japan were also issued a warning in response to the launch. And wrapping up with some wonderful news. All whale lovers, you're gonna love the story. Now, of course, whale lovers, they strive to protect the giants of the big blue. And that is the World Cetacean Alliance. And they've actually named the Plettenberg Bay area as one of only 7 whale heritage sites worldwide. The fact that very few places have been granted the status demonstrates the importance of destinations such as Plettenberg Bay, where tourists can wonder at whales and dolphins in their natural habitat. 2 other global whale heritage sites are also in South Africa, the Bluff in Durban and Angola Bay in the Eastern Cape. I would suggest you organize a trip to Plettenberg Bay very soon to enjoy the whales. Let's get on to sport for now. Here is Graham with all the details, including the Europa League action.
Some are having a whale of a time, but this could be a killer for some. Let's go to Europe for football first. Sevilla have claimed a record-extending 7th incredible Europa League title. That as they beat Roma on penalties at a raucous Puskás Arena in Budapest. So Gonzalo Montiel, he also scored the winning penalty for Argentina in the World Cup final against France. You might remember he repeated the trick for the Spanish side following a 1-1 draw with a retaken spot kick. That was after Roger Ibanez and Gianluca Mancini had missed for Roma. And during the 90 minutes, it was Paulo Dybala who had the opening goal, scoring 10 minutes before half-time. Then 10 minutes after half-time, an own goal from Mancini drew the Spanish side level. Then we bring it back home. High-stakes playoff football happening right now. Maritzburg United, they took a huge leap towards staying in the top flight after their 2-0 win over Kazrick Stars in the PSL promotion relegation playoffs yesterday. That, of course, playing out at the Harry Gwala Stadium. The first half brace by Rowan Human, ensuring that Maritzburg clinched a significant advantage over Cape Town Spurs in their PSL playoffs log standings. The team of choice move ahead of Spurs, who beat Kazrick 1-0 on Sunday in the mini-league due to their superior goal difference, and I have a feeling it's going to make all the difference in this one. Maritzburg will now travel to Cape Town for their fixture against Spurs, and that happens this Saturday. Good luck to all parties involved. Now we turn to rugby. he's coming home. Springbok prop Kuni Oosthuizen has signed a deal to return to Durban to play for our Sharks. The 34-year-old had left Durbs to join English club Sale Sharks in May of 2019, went on to make 94 appearances for the Manchester-based Sharks, including 16 this season as they reached their first Premiership final in 17 years. He certainly made his mark. Sale ultimately lost 35-25 to Saracens in that final at the famous Twickenham. Now on to tennis. A little bit of controversy surrounding Novak Djokovic again. In fact, it was something he said. Political messages about Kosovo at the French Open were not appropriate and shouldn't happen again. And that's a quote from France's sports minister, Amélie Oudéa-Castéra. And she said this, the sport needs to be a principle of neutrality for the field of play. Now, Serb Djokovic wrote, Kosovo in the heart of Serbia, is the heart of Serbia rather, stop the violence. And he wrote that on a camera lens as he was exiting the field, the pitch, and it is in reference to recent tension in Kosovo, which declared independence from Serbia back in 2008. And world governing body, the International Tennis Federation, said that Djokovic's statement did not violate any rules because the Grand Slam rulebook does not ban political statements. So I'm wondering what all the hoo-ha is about. We got your back, Novak, and that's where we leave our sport for now. Likewise, we got your back as we send you off to work. Let's let Carl get you there safely.
All I can do is tell you about the incidents. It is Hugh who is driving, so be safe. Now let's start in KZN, Ashburton area. There has been a truck accident on the N3 East. The road has been closed until further notice. So cleanup is currently happening, but do please use an alternative route. And of course, there is a couple of lights over there, so please try not to rubberneck and move on as carefully as you can. Mhlanga, let's go to you. There's been an accident on the M4, Ruth First Highway, southbound heading towards Durban. Please be safe in that area if you are passing it. And in Johannesburg, Sandton, starting with you, there is a stationary vehicle on the N1 northbound after the ramp from William Nicol Drive. One lane is closed at the moment. Please drive carefully when approaching that area. And then in Cape Town, Stikland, there has been an accident in the Stikland area. Heavy traffic in and around area and all connecting roads, so please allow for more travel time and try to find an alternative route if you can. And then Bellville, there is congestion on the R300 northbound at Van Riebeek Road. Do expect delays, of course. Plan accordingly, drive a little safely, and of course get a good playlist. If you are going to head to that area, you're going to be waiting for just a little while. That's it for the traffic for now. Let's head on over to your weather. All right, weather news. Let's start there. A mini tornado barreled through Bloemfontein on Tuesday, uprooting trees and damaging buildings. Videos of roofs blown off and damaged vehicles have been shared. It's reported to have touched down at approximately 4 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon. Pictures and videos have been circulating on social media showing extremely adverse weather conditions in the Free State. Storm damage was also reported from the areas of Pietersburg as well as Koffiefontein as a band of thunderstorms moved eastwards over central South Africa. Now let's head on over to some beautiful sunrise views, and let's start off in Kariga. This particular photo is absolutely amazing. Those bold reds and hues blasting up in the sky. We do appreciate this. It's fantastic. Then Brian from Table Mountain area enjoying a morning hike before he starts his day, sharing this moment to remember and inspiring so many from South Africa to visit Cape Town just to get a bit of that. Then Louise in Alberton, taking a walk with the dogs and sharing a magnificent view of the sun peeking between the clouds. Dilesh in East London, showing off a perfect photo with some outstanding purple tones out in the distance and a perfect way to start the day. Look at those colors. I want to see more. Send it my way. 063-408-8863. Save it to your phone and send a sunrise view. We'd love to feature you on your Feel Good Breakfast show as we get into temperatures across South Africa. Starting off in Polokwane, good morning to you. 6 is your minimum. You jump up to 25. Bombela, you'll be 10 this morning, 26 this afternoon. Pretoria, 6 up, and you'll get jumped up to 19 a little later. And then Joburg, 5 up to 17 degrees Celsius. Mahikeng, 2 to 20 today. 2 very, very chilly this morning. Klerksdorp, layers for you too. 1 degree Celsius this morning, 17 later. Kimberley, just 3 up to 16. And then Bloemfontein, you are the lowest today, -2 degrees Celsius up to 14. Let's head on over to Richards Bay, a 65% chance of some rain and thunder, 11 to 22. Pietermaritzburg, you've got 6 on the cards as you rise this morning. 18 is the maximum. Durban, 13 to 22. And then, of course, Mthatha, 4, you jump up to 18. East London, 12 to 22 today. Cradock, 13 to 16. Gqeberha, you've got 10 to 22. And George, 19 is your maximum, low of 11, 84% chance of rain if it's not raining already. Cape Town, 11 to 19. Worcester, 9 up to 21. Partly cloudy for you. Southern, quite clear, 4 to 14. And Uppington, 6 rising to 22 degrees Celsius. That's it from the weather desk as well as the traffic desk on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But, you know, when it comes to the entertainment desk, we are always cooking.
So throughout the show, we have been delving into maternity, paternity leave, the ins and outs, the grey areas, and we're going to broach what that looks like legally when it comes to same-sex couples who are wanting to adopt. I have a feeling this is getting very challenging in this space because there is a complete lack of legality. We're going to chat to Arthur Bishop, who has very bravely embarked on this journey, and we're going to get his perspective and insight. So cannot wait to meet you, Arthur, and introduce you to you guys at home. It's time to talk maternity, paternity leave and how that affects you.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here on S3. And as you may know, we are chatting maternity, paternity, and all the dynamics thereof. South Africa is a rainbow nation, and in every sense of that particular word. And in South Africa, the LGBTQ plus community, of course, have the same rights as everybody else, which includes the rights to adopt and grow their family just like anyone else. But this brings the question up. How does maternity and paternity leave affect queer relationships and the adoption or surrogacy process as well? And here to unpack, we have Arthur Bishop. Arthur, welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
So, as you know, we've been chatting about this all the way through the show, but I'd love to traverse this particular part of the topic. Now, firstly, when you and your partner decided to have children, was the thought overwhelming of how to go about it and how that would position itself within a society like the one we have today?
Yes, for sure. It was definitely overwhelming, especially getting it from a perspective we never thought that there's actually this possibility of us being able to have children. And when we got married and we had the conversation that, we want to have some children, I didn't even know the word surrogacy. I thought it was a buzzword. I didn't know what it really entails, etc. And the one evening we just spoke about this whole idea and the whole reality of it. And when we started to talk about it, it was extremely overwhelming because you don't know where to start. You don't know how to go about it. And the fact that it was actually a possibility was extremely overwhelming. Yeah.
So how did you go about with all of that, which would cause anybody to have a lot of apprehension around it? I mean, how did you approach adoption versus surrogacy? How did you come to that type of idea? And more importantly, how did you make that decision?
Yeah, so I always, both of us, we wanted to have children all our lives. And for me, adoption was always an option. When I was younger, I didn't think the possibility of having children was there. And then when the possibility approached, I was very keen for adoption. And then my husband then actually approached me and said, but listen, there's the surrogacy option as well. Yeah. And he did a lot of research about it. And when he hit that with me, I'm like, oh my word, I didn't even know that that's an option. Where do we start? And then when we spoke about it, you know, deep down inside, there is this desire to have your own biological children. Yeah. And surrogacy made that a possibility for something to explore. So that's when both of us had the desire to have our own biological children. And I think that's where the choice really, for us, was made to go a surrogacy route. But that doesn't mean that there's not a possibility for adoption in the future.
Well, I mean, I love the fact that you kept that open because, you know, that's such an important thing. There's so many kids in this world that require great people like you to be their, you know, their dads, which is wonderful. But was there a lot of guidance to the process? Because, I mean, I can only imagine surrogacy, there are a lot of movies you can watch. You think about those movies where the mom comes back to get the child because the mind has changed, you know. Weren't you scared in that moment? Was there a lot of guidance to keep you calm through the entire process?
Yeah, originally it really felt like a big black hole because you had the idea, you knew what surrogacy was, you could look up a lot of videos, but guidance, there wasn't very much out there. If you go onto the internet, you didn't find, you know, I'm a chartered accountant, so I want a step-by-step process, and there is not a step-by-step process for a surrogacy process. Yeah. So when we got hold to, we got in contact with the fertility clinic, and they actually got us into contact with our fertility lawyer, and that's where the guidance started to really happen. And so before that, we didn't have any guidance, so we really jumped into the pool without any wings. And then, and then later, after we met the lawyer, he was really helpful to tell us what the process are, what do we need to do, when, and then the guidance was really there.
I think anybody will tell you that parenthood is just jumping in and not knowing much, which is exactly the process is like. But let's talk about what we've been chatting about on the show today is around paternity and your company acknowledging paternity leave, especially you and your husband within a relationship like that. Do you feel that there was acknowledgement and ample equality with regard to the way they dealt with your paternity leave? Because sometimes maternity leave versus paternity leave, that is outscaled. Maternity leave is quite a duration, while as paternity leave, it seems to be quite a limited sort of time period. So what were your thoughts on that when you actually came to encounter that particular experience?
Yeah, we luckily we're in the situation where we got, one of us got the maternity leave part of the whole process. Yeah. So there was a 4-month option, and the other one of us got the paternity leave, which is only 10 days. Yes. I still feel that there's a bit of a lack in our community currently, that it shouldn't be maternity leave and paternity leave anymore. It should actually be leave for the primary caregiver and leave for the secondary caregiver, because that's how we really approached it, and our firms also approached it that way. So we got leave for the primary caregiver, which was more in relation with maternity leave, and then also the paternity leave part, which is the 10 days leave that we got.
But I'm glad you mentioned that. There does need to be some recourse in that particular area, because there are a lot of things to do around expecting a baby, and it's not just about carrying full term, but there are a lot of infrastructure things you have to do, and you know, we do need to kind of adjust it. And I think conversations like these, Arthur, are going to bring about that change, especially on this particular platform. But thank you so much for sharing, and all the best to your family. I think you are phenomenal, and I think that you and your husband fantastic parents, to be very, very fair. So do enjoy, and thanks a lot for answering all the questions today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That was Arthur Bishop just chatting on queer relationships and how maternity versus paternity, our topic for the day, has been engaged within those particular communities. But of course, keep the conversation going and keep these conversations going in other places as well. We need more of it because the more conversation, the more change we can see in society.
Let's continue on that tip, my friend. And I'm going to say it, I'm going to proclaim it. A good cheesecake has the potential to change lives, okay? Stop taking yourself so seriously. Take a moment. We can chew on all that intellectual property as we chew on this literally, and it looks delicious. Today, we are making what is arguably one of the best cheesecakes we've ever tasted. Hopefully, mini espresso cheesecakes on Expresso that will take your love of coffee and cheesecake to new heights. And here to show us how it's done, Gabs.
I also like the way that you said it. Espresso earlier. It was a bit of a weird accent.
I know, espresso. It's like when you say Barcelona. It's for every time that someone's called our show Espresso and called an espresso Expresso.
Yeah,
okay, that's why we're doing this. That's why we are making this today. We're taking them and combining them.
Yes.
I'm a cheesecake fan.
Love cheesecake.
Absolutely love it. I'm a coffee fan.
And we have beautiful Jacob's Gold.
I know, and this is your vibe. She absolutely loves her gold, which is why we had to bring her in. So for this recipe, we are using the Jacob's Gold instant freeze-dried coffee in the filling and in the ganache, so that beautiful coffee flavor, it's going to permeate through every inch, every millimeter of this cheesecake. Now, the richness of the coffee against the sweetness of the cheesecake, I'm hoping is going to create that heavenly balance and an irresistible taste. And of course, placing the cheesecakes in a water bath when baking them prevents the cheesecake from lifting. These are the kinds of tips that I need to know, okay? Because I'm not that confident when I bake. Our milk is boiling over.
Sorry, that's
I should have warned you when I saw that coming. Okay, so we've got beautiful, in your heart of hearts, coffee and cheesecake. Is this an easy marry? Is this a bit of a stretch?
I don't see why not. I feel like with cheesecake, you can zhuzh it up and do anything you want to do. Exactly. And I mean, I'm Italian, so coffee is life.
Oh, this is, you want to just add some cream and biscuits, put it in there, and then it's fine. Absolutely love it. That being said, we've got to get some of the basics done properly when it comes to a cheesecake. Is this typically a fridge or a baked cheesecake?
This is a baked cheesecake, but you could actually put this in the fridge as well. I would just think, yeah, you could absolutely do that. Because, I mean, for example, like right now, we aren't having eggs in ours right now, but if you had eggs in it, then I'd bake it. If it was, you know, so completely up to you.
I love that. Okay, so that's something to think about, the egg being the deciding factor in whether you need to bake or not, obviously, because you've got to cook it through.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got very simple ingredients. We are heroing our Jacob's Gold for this, but where do we start?
Well, I'm actually, on that note of Jacob's Gold, I'm going to quickly actually put our coffee into our hot water to dissolve. Or I guess you could use this proper
I would just pour. I pour my coffee.
Depends on how you want it.
I often wonder why they don't have a pouring mechanism with coffee.
So also, a fun fact, did you know that actually coffee brings out the taste of chocolate? So whenever I've always made chocolate cakes in the past, I've always actually added a little bit of coffee to it because it actually...
Just a little drop,
just a little. And then obviously salt. So pretty much I've got now our cream cheese, which is room temperature or slightly softened. And I've also got some sour cream over here. So and also with cheesecakes, a lot of people always get stressed about them cracking if you're baking them.
Yeah.
But the one thing is just don't overmix because then it gets... So usually with cakes, you want to mix so it gets the air.
Okay.
Cheesecake, you don't want the air.
Oh, because the air is what's going to push that frame, is going to break
so
the...
yeah, it's very much just like combining very, very quickly, you know?
And I suppose... because we don't have the yeast, we don't have like the science activation element going on here, you don't need that mix.
No.
It's just about having the flavors incorporated enough to be able to enjoy all flavor with every bite.
Exactly. So maybe we've just done some vanilla now, and now I'm adding in our sugar. And then just so you know, the base is purely some chocolate chip cookies and butter, which we've just kind of malted and put together. So super, super simple.
And I like that. I like having like a theme that runs throughout. So having a little bit of a coffee element or a chocolate element, like you say, the things that work and complement or enhance throughout.
Exactly.
So have it in the crumble, have it in the ganache, have it in the actual mix, but let it represent in slightly different ways.
So, I mean, I've literally just beaten this, that it was just combined, because also you don't want the cheese to split.
There you go.
I've been there. It's not a fun time.
Yeah.
So then we've obviously got a bit of condensed milk.
Because you have to, don't play around. Don't
you're going to do this properly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to just kind of fold this in, and then I'm also now going to fold in our coffee.
I'm just going to say it right now to Gareth Coombs, who gave me his condensed milk that one day at boarding school to save me being beaten up by bullies. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
It's a sweet story.
Yeah,
Like,
man,
he tells
it
me
really
about
is.
that.
Yeah, no, but you know, but that thing, condensed milk at boarding school was like gold, no, platinum. It was like a limited
Are you serious?
resource. Oh, it was proper, man.
Okay.
You could literally rule the school for a day if you had condensed milk.
Okay, good to know, good to know. Yeah, I mean, those tins of condensed milk always reminds you of those childhood things,
That's
eh?
special because this is a cake and we want it to be indulgent. Okay, so this is where the tricky stuff comes in.
So literally, I'm just folding this in until it's combined. I probably put a little bit too much liquid in, I am seeing.
We can keep bolstering, keep adding.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe I should say, tip for you is rather to put a little bit at a time, because I'm feeling this is a little bit too watery for my liking right now.
So what would you then, seeing as we've got a real-time solution opportunity here, how would you add more of the cream cheese mixture and bolster it up?
So I would add more. I'd add more cream cheese or just a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
But I mean, it's actually coming together quite nicely. So that is perfect. Also, just sometimes just be a bit patient.
Yeah, and I suppose because it's quite different kinds of materials, sounds ridiculous, but those ingredients are going to take a while to kind of find each other in that space, but that looks beautiful.
So I'm going to pour this in now onto our biscuit base, and as you mentioned earlier, we're going to put it now into a water bath and into the oven.
Why the water bath? Why is that such an important hack?
It just makes it more of a gentle baking process without it being too hot, because it almost allows for a steaming action, because obviously, like, most home ovens won't have a steaming function.
So it kind of caramelizes the outside without fully cooking the inside.
Yeah, basically.
So this allows you a bit
and
more
just not too
gradual.
Gradual. That's the key word. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to fold this there and we're going to pop that in the oven.
Because that's messed with my head, the fact that you can put a tray of water when baking a loaf of bread to make it more crispy. And I'm like, how does that work? What is that?
So I mean, what we do at the daily is we actually take our bread and we spray it with a bit of water before we put it in. Just to make sure it gets a little bit of steam. But yeah, that's already. But the big part of this also is our ganache. As you saw, we have our cream from earlier. And I'm also now going to actually add some more coffee just because we can.
Yes, because I said we should. I said we have to have coffee in absolutely every element. So while you finish off that ganache, I'm going to jump the gun just a little bit because I don't want to miss out on my taste opportunity here.
Never. So basically, as you see, you've got your beautiful baked cheesecake, which we've now put the ganache on top with some extra chocolate. Good, eh?
Oh, you know what I like the most?
Tell me.
Coffee first.
No, but it's like such a beautiful balance, you know?
It's absolutely amazing, man. Please make liters of ganache if you can for this. But it doesn't need a lot of sweetness added to it. It's beautiful, well-balanced, absolutely gorgeous. Sharing a bite of these mini espresso cheesecakes on Expresso, yes, is optional. But making them, it's a non-negotiable. You've got to try this for yourself, and you can find the full recipe on expressoshow.com. And if you missed any of the steps, here's how you do it.
Here's to the coffee magicians. The ones who know what you get out starts with what you put in.
Only you can make
Catch Expresso this May as we highlight the importance of feminine hygiene, proudly brought to you by GynaGuard, who are also offering 10 Expresso viewers a chance to win their own hamper full of a comprehensive range of GynaGuard feminine hygiene products to the value of 1,000 Rand. Simply reply to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages using hashtag GynaGuard and hashtag #FreeToJustBe. That's this May from the 1st to the 31st right here on Expresso. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to you at home, and welcome to this gorgeous gent sat beside me. They say that you can find just about anything online. Well, how about the dad you never had? Or at least in the form of fatherly advice and affirmation. I love that. So we are honing in on Rob Kenny, who's a YouTuber from the US who started a channel called Dad, How Do I... which helps kids all over the world, even here in South Africa, with things like how to tie a tie, how to change a tire, even sends inspirational messages like, you got this, with a quirky dad joke thrown in as well. And of course, the man sat beside me, Grant Hines, was one of the first to hone in on this guy. Dude, thanks so much for joining us. And you reckon he's one of the most wholesome content creators you've come across?
I found Rob's channel during lockdown. And it was one of those things, we were all alone, we were away from our parents, you know, we were separated. And one of the things about his channel is that he really genuinely makes you feel that, you know, that you're a part of him and that he cares about you, which is really cool.
So give us an example, man.
So Rob mentioned that the inspiration for the channel stems from his rough childhood that he had after his father left their family when he was just a teen. He longed to have somebody to teach him and his siblings just basic survival skills. You know, we all want that.
Yeah.
And here he is showing the kids how to tie a tie.
Awesome.
Hey kids, so today I'm going to show you how to tie a tie. You pop up your collar, okay, and you have the fat side down, see how much longer it is there, okay, and then you come around the front, and then go all the way around the back, okay, and then you go down through that hole that you just made, and you're paying attention to this knot because you're building the knot, okay. Now we're like this, we're going to go around the front like that, okay. Back up through this hole. Now we're gonna go back down through that hole that you have there in the front, okay? Just like that, and then you just put your collar down. Pay attention to the back, make sure there's nothing showing, and then you just cinch it up by pulling on this. You just cinch it up like that. Beautiful.
It is beautiful. You're beautiful, man. That's absolutely awesome. And I mean, I grew up without a dad, to be quite honest about this. And you don't understand how much those little moments, when I think of the stand-up moments where others have stepped in to teach me how to make a tie or tie a shoelace, dude, you're amazing, Rob. And I think not everything is serious, though. Rob also has a bit of a quirky little dad joke side to him as well. Let's see him drop a gem.
Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use a stud finder. If you came here looking for help finding a boyfriend, that would be a different stud finder. Dad joke, sorry. It's Dad, how do I? So you gotta expect those occasionally. You gotta give me that, okay? If your knot's big and you got a short tie, dorky. You don't want to do that, all right? Just telling you. I get a call from my daughter the other day and she says, Dad, my toilet won't stop running. And I thought for a second, well, it can't be that fast. When did she catch it?
I was waiting for that. Yeah, it's really cool. You know, it's like soft and approachable, and it's what we want in a dad. You know, it's authentic. It's very cool. On Wednesdays, though, Rob heads over to his TikTok account. I follow him on YouTube. He's got nearly 5 million followers on YouTube, which is really cool. Yeah, these are from his TikTok account, and there he shares Wisdom Wednesdays, just to encourage his kids, us, his viewers, with quotes like this one.
Hey kids, it's Wisdom Wednesday, and today's wisdom comes from C.S. Lewis. He says, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. You know, if you're going through something right now, I hope these words are encouraging to you to keep on fighting and never lose hope. Sometimes it can seem like you're the only one struggling. I can assure you, we all have struggles. You are not alone. I hope you know these quotes are oftentimes for myself as much as they are for you. We need to encourage or give courage to each other. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you.
Oh, God bless you, my friend. I think we often miss, with children, it's not about lowering yourself to their level. It's about being authentically who you are and meet them on that level.
Yeah.
And it's an amazingly powerful thing what he's able to do. In face of all the gratuitous nonsense we see online, buddy, good choice. Absolutely love that. Well, hopefully for the dads out there, this has inspired you on how you can raise your game just a little bit, but also the responsibility we all have. It takes a village.
So, let's talk about gifting for dad. I mean, June is dedicated to dads and dad figures, our #1 supporters and our besties. They've been by our side and guided us to become the people that we are today. So let's show our love and appreciation by gifting them with gadgets that they will enjoy for years to come. And here with his ultimate luxury homeware gift guide is Chef Clem, and I guarantee you there will be a dad joke or 5 as you traverse all of these amazing gifts. So first and foremost, Chef Clem, welcome.
Thank you so
nice
much.
To see you. Good to be on your level for a change this morning. They don't know about the bunkie. Anyway, tell me about your pops and the influence that your dad has had on your life.
We've got a saying in the family, if it can't be done, it's only because my dad hasn't tried yet. No, that man's got, like, he can build, do anything. He's obsessed with his garden. It's his 4th child, and we say that, but his garden is beautiful. He is so epic. And I'll tell you what happened. Story time. I had a shoot on a Tuesday. My dad was over at my place for a braai on the Saturday. I'm like, oh, it would be so nice if I had like a beautiful lapa in the back of the garden for the shoot. Man was like, hold my chop. The next day, we built a whole lapa. That's my dad. That's my dad. He's epic. He's amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
And also with regard to like some of the activities that you do with your dad, I mean, besides building lapas, is there anything else you guys do?
All my knowledge of plants, herbs, and actually herbs that we don't usually just see in the store come from that man. And my simplistic style of cooking, sometimes I go very simple and just focus on amazing ingredients. That's him. He's keep it simple and just focus on quality, keep it amazing. So he's influenced the way I cook so much.
That's what dads are for. But now we have to gift something to dads. Now, the thing is about dads, I mean, can we go beyond the tie? Can we go beyond, oh, here's a nice toolbox? Shop.
Is it me that's getting older? Because soap on a rope is seeming attractive all of a sudden.
No, but that's not fine. I dig socks now. However, we have to take it to the next level, okay?
Next level!
We have to go to the next level here.
Yeah.
Ultimate, and I'm talking luxury gifts here, because to have a pops is a luxury, you know, and let's showcase that.
Let's do that. So I've done research, and I found out that this Espresso Virtual Pop can go on your desk at the office. So you got this personal gift for your dad. Every time your dad makes himself an espresso coffee, he thinks about...
That's it.
That's what it is. Thinking about gifts that will actually evoke memories and just make them think about you and then establish why you are the favorite child. Next one, we also have the instant... My sisters are like, what?
Like, it's fine.
Okay,
right.
We've got the Instant Vortex Plus. Now, this thing is absolutely amazing. I'm not going to go too deep into detail.
It's a gadget. A dad will love it. Come on.
A dad will absolutely love it. It does absolutely everything. Then, we've also got the Duo Crisp from the Instant range. This is amazing. So we know how these give you like the pressure cooker kind of cooking. Swap the lid out. So here's, work with me. You put the chicken in it, you pressure cook it, it locks in all the juices, all the flavors. It swaps, it swaps, it swaps. So you've now pressure cooked this chicken, all the juices, all the flavors, all the spices, aromatics, locked in the chicken.
That's another lid.
You swap the lids.
I honestly thought that was like a large dumpling.
No, so you can see the heating element at the bottom. Now it's gone.
What?
Now it goes crispy.
No.
That's amazing. You literally can work with me again, South Africa. This is amazing. So I do it. You pressure cook your potatoes. When you make roast potatoes, pressure cook it first. Swap the lids. Roast potatoes. Hold me.
No.
It's amazing. It's awesome. Okay.
What?
Now.
Okay, sorry. I'm taken aback by that concept.
Pretty epic. Talking about epic, the Everdear. This has become a family favorite. What we do is we actually start the coals on the side. Everybody gathers around the table. We put it on the table. Everybody,
nudge.
You've got like these meat platters out, your veggie platters. Everybody's out here.
And you have to do it.
This is smart, right? You're buying this for your dad, but it also becomes the gift that keeps on giving. Fam, you create memories with everything we've got in front of you.
It's like platter for things to put on top of there as well.
And it fits in your boot perfectly. It's got rubber feet so it doesn't slide around in your boot.
Dad'll be proud of this, man. You're taking this out like, hey, Henny, come here. Look here, Henny, come here. My son gave me this. My daughter gave me this. And then look here. Bah.
What did your child give you?
What is the?
No, a voucher. A voucher. No. Shame. Shame. This is how you win Father's Day.
No, you're gonna win it.
Done.
Did
I mention everything?
Happily ever after.
NutriBullet. NutriBullet because...
Check here, when a dad is at a level, right? Okay. So I have many uncles that tell me like they make smoothies now, man. They have like green smoothies, but I think it's because the doctor told them, but they don't want to tell you that the doctor told them. They just want to say that it was their idea because it's better if it's their idea. So then you got this, you drop this onto the gift table. It's a game changer. All the greens go in there and the calcium and all the things that they need to avoid the knee cracking completely. Oh, it's going to be...
Can I give you a hack?
Please.
Well, my dad uses it for...
What is it?
The smaller cup that it comes with.
Yeah.
He uses it to make his own spice mixes because that milling blade, super fine, amazing. So he makes all his own spice mixes.
Oh.
Not just for your smoothies.
Are you serious?
It's amazing.
So I can think about the whole connection though. You can actually like ground the beans in there for the, this particular thing over there. If you've got a nice little pot you can use there, you get a smoothie, then you can make lovely Instapot dishes over there, switch over lids, impress some people as the people come over, then you've got the Everdew over here, everybody braaiing in the house. You know how auntie's always crying about, no, why are you braaiing outside all the time? You can be in the house with the Everdew. Father's Day, done and dusted. This is wonderful.
I'm speechless.
I'm also speechless. Wowza. Any one of these can be given to me, so please feel free if you want to. If you want to grab any of these items, the quick suggestion is to just really enjoy it. Celebrate the moments that matter with Dad. Shop luxury gifts and more at Woolworths, in-store, online, and on the app. And just in case you think that I'm as tall as Clem today, let me tell you one thing, is that they gave me a bunkie because I want to be as big as my dad.
Ready? Wow. Mia, can you send me that? Sure. Can you send me that? Hey, can you send me that? Sure.
Make every training day epic. Buy the Galaxy S23 series at the Galaxy Watch 5 or Watch 5 Pro and get free Galaxy Buds 2 Pro valued at $3,999. T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Time to cozy up, curl up on the couch or dress to impress with elegant and, yes, very comfortable winter staples that will keep you warm and looking oh so stylish this winter. We love being able to build our wardrobe up in these new seasons, and here to take us through the latest in some awe-inspiring menswear styles from Woolies, Nicole Lakert and Lisa de Vries. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Exciting times. I mean, it seems strange to get this excited about knitwear, but this is when you can get excited about knitwear. And it feels like there are a number of different eras all combining. When you look at the range, the quality that's available in knitwear, why are you guys so excited going into winter this year?
I think the main thing is that obviously knitwear really is that must-have timeless piece, and it really comes through in winter. And as you mentioned, fashion is ever evolving, and knitwear is no different. And in our collection, which I'll take you through a little bit later, it offers an array of textures and yarns, whether it be your fisherman stitch, your cables, or just your half or full cardigan stitch as well. And it really is just a luxurious, easy-to-wear garment.
And it goes up and down, what I love, because it can be very chic, but it can also be very relaxed, and there is something comforting and, as ridiculous as it sounds, empowering about how what you wear feels. It's almost where it begins in winter. The jackets then become the layer that we embrace. Beyond that, that's how the world embraces winter. And there's a way you can tell a South African guy by the colour of his puffer jacket, okay? But we have moved way beyond just having the staple green now. We have got a way to express every kind of style and almost moment. Talk us through, Lisa, the jackets that have got you guys pumped this winter.
So the jackets that we've got this winter, really, Woolworths is your go-to this season. Like you said, winter is all about warmth and comfort. So if I'm going to take you through it, we have our beautiful commuter jacket. And it's so lovely to commute to work and to protect you against these icy conditions that we're facing at the moment. It has a Sherpa lining to provide you with that extra bit of warmth, and then it's quilted on the inside, and it's nice and snug to keep you protected against all of the elements.
It's a duvet jacket, so I'm going to call it the duvet jacket, okay?
A duvet jacket. Next up is the field jacket, which is a great staple to any man's wardrobe, and dare I say, a real must-have. It has utility styling with double pockets, chest, and hip pockets with flaps, which make it a very, very practical jacket.
That's great for our industry as well. We were born out of utility, because we do have leather men and all these things that you need to keep. I love that.
Absolutely. And then lastly, what is winter without a puffer? And at Woolworths, we've got the 4 silhouettes for this season for you. So if I take you through the first one, a beautiful longer length puffer. It's made from recyclable polyester. It's rain and water resistant. It's hooded, and it keeps your body as well as your legs nice and warm.
That's like the Matrix version of the puffer jacket. That's brilliant.
And just to layer it with texture, beautiful texture in a mid-waist puffer, also made with recyclable content, nice and warm, a staple item to wear with jeans, to wear with your chino.
I like the fact that you can dress that up in a more corporate sense without losing the utility element.
Exactly. And like you're wearing now, the onion is definitely the design for the season. You can't go unnoticed without wearing your beautiful onion stitch garment. And then you've got your expect to find horizontal stripe texture, which is the staple in any man's wardrobe, as we know. And we have a range of colors for you to select from to wear back to anything.
And nice. I like the kind of pastels, the neutral, the earthy tones. There is something beautifully masculine about this without being too overt. So, okay, I think we need to get our models in to see this.
I need to do my knitwear, love.
Cool. Walk us through very quickly.
Very quickly. Knitwear. So, you know, cable is the hip and happening right now. It really is about your different twists and your braids, just to give you that cord-like pattern as well. And we offer this in your expect to find crew neck. One of the models, which we'll talk you through later, is wearing a beautiful collegiate V-neck, and this just ties back. And as you can see, Carl is also wearing it in today's show.
Preppy, baby. I love it.
And then to continue with the cable, this is your beautiful luxe cable. It really is that you can wear it elegantly. You can either wear it casual. It is up to you. And we offer that in different colors. And then just in terms of your texture, this is offered in 4 different levels, but it's talking about that half cardigan stitch. It's really gorgeous. And then as we go into all the other cables, I'm not going to take too long, but this is just your quarter zip, which you can wear formal, you can wear your blazer, you can wear your jacket, any way you want to. And then I just wanted to highlight the one hit item for Father's Day is this luxe cardigan. It is going to be an absolute stunner on any man that wears it.
Dad vibes.
Yeah, completely.
Oh, I love it. All right, so I think let's bring, well, one of them is a dad, I know for sure, but let's bring our models in here and take a look at some of these gorgeous designs. You see, that's how you strut your stuff when you've got, I'm going to call it the Matrix jacket. I know it's not that. But I love, this is the ultimate finishing piece.
Yeah. So just in terms of this look, it's talking about how multi-versatile our entire range is. You can wear it back with a pair of chinos, your boots, that beautiful luxe knitwear polo neck I was referring to, and then the Matrix jacket. And you can take it off when you're out for dinner as well, and you will still look elegant.
It's beautiful. Love the pairing with the Chelsea boots. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, if we need to see how these clothes can imbue confidence, we need a first-time model, someone who's never modeled before, but is a dad and oh so stylish. Booyah! Wow. And the crazy thing is, when he stepped in earlier, I was like, Grant, you look amazing today. And he just,
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And he just accepted it like, you know, he had got himself dressed this morning, but now we know the truth. Beautiful.
So if you look at this style, it really speaks back to that utility styling, which I said, and the oversized, which is so much on trend right now, talking back to Nicole's knitwear, the beautiful collegiate styling with the cable running through, and then, of course, a staple jean, a medium blue wash with whiskering for texture, and a pair of boots for the winter. Beautiful.
Absolutely love it, man. I love the fact that you can represent the personality, but you can hit all of those stylistic points on point. Grant Hines, you're gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous. I think this really does speak to that dad and every dad out there. Get dad kitted out for the season ahead with stylish undercover staples this winter, from knitwear to these amazing jackets and coats. You can shop it all at Woolworths in-store, online, or using their amazing app. Ladies, thank you so much. You've got us covered, literally from head to toe.
To join FAS, Fathers Against Socks, SMS the number on your screen.
SMS is charged at 75 Rand.
What's supposed to tell them that?
From beating the winter cold through fashion to beating the winter sniffle with the right meds. Now, the road to recovery from a cold or a flu is easier when you have medication to get you back in top shape. Now, Carenza Para-C gave you the chance to win 5,000 Rand by telling us why you prefer using Carenza Para-C for cold and flu relief. And I just want to say congratulations to Nikita Pillay. You are our lucky winner. And Nikita commented, I would choose Carenza Para-C because it is affordable and has loads of vitamin C in it to act as an immune booster to fight flu, germs, bacteria in our bodies, and relieves us of flu and cold symptoms. It has a fast reaction and gives great relief in no time. The oral intake is efficient and it's easy to take. Hashtag Carenza Para-C, hashtag beat winter flu. And we have Nikita on the line. Nikita, how are you feeling?
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. I'm in shock.
Don't be in shock. You got 5,000 Rand. I just want to ask you, what are you going to use the 5,000 Rand for, if you don't mind me asking?
So today is my first day at my new job. I actually plan to buy my mom a new cell phone. So I'm hoping to do that once I receive the 5,000 Rand.
Oh, congratulations. And thank you so much for being a part of the competition. We hope that you're healthy and stay healthy for the brand new job. We are very, very excited for you. But congrats once again, and thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you once again.
Lovely. Welcome, Nikita. Yo, that's another winner on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Sorry, I just want to show you what Nikita was talking about. Nikita was saying this is pretty easy because that's it. Done and dusted. And that fizz that you see over there is the fizz that you require if you are trying to fight colds and flu. And our health should be our top priority as we enter the winter season. So stock up on the essentials and keep yourself warm and healthy, and more importantly, happy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Let's wrap the show with some magic in a feel-good breakfast show here on S3, and we have the College of Magic here. They have a showcase on 3 and 4 June at the Artscape. Tickets at Web Tickets. It's called Impossible, and here to do the impossible is Sikalelwa with a water trick. Yes, water magic right here on your feel-good breakfast show. Take it away. Just see. How did that even work? That was fantastic. Wow, you just, honestly, you know how to rise to the occasion. Well done. So that was Impossible. That's the show, 3 and 4 June, Artscape. Get your tickets at Web Tickets as soon as possible. The College of Magic, you've been fantastic. Massive round of applause to all of them. Luto, Buyo. Wow.
I've just got to say about the College of Magic, because I asked them very kindly, I asked them if they would very kindly open up their doors so that I could take Jack there.
Yes.
Because he loves magic. You don't understand. My 6-year-old went there, got one of the best personalized shows I think that he has ever seen, but he now believes that he is Harry Potter and that he can do this because of what you guys showed him. He believes. Unfortunately, he asked if Dad could do that, and I can't. So that's why I had to go to the College of Magic. But I think what I've loved the most is looking at the growth in the young people, these amazing magicians that are coming out of this human factory. It's not just producing amazing magicians, it's producing incredible, unbelievably talented... Okay, it is producing incredible magicians. That's what it is.
You can't even get distracted, eh?
I don't even know what you're saying.
The talent means nothing, all right? It means nothing.
Wow.
Oh, it's all how you...
What a show.
Look how chilled you are.
It's been a magic show today. I think that today we revealed to you maternity, paternity, magic tricks, as well as the best model we've ever had in Grand Hines. It's been really great, honestly.
And you were amazing. You were the happy face to my cry face today. Yes, we know the cry face is the most used emoji in the world. Let's push back. Only use smiley faces and thumbs up today, and maybe a little crying with laughter if you're listening to this, man.
Yes, man.
We love you guys so much. Have the most amazing, empowered day, and if you need the inspiration, look no further than these incredibly talented, wonderful human beings. And yes, they are magicians as well. We'll see you tomorrow. We love you, College of Magic! Well done. Good job.